Alright guys, we're back. After some difficulties with Steam, we are finally here with a clan war between Clan VM and Clan DDG. So welcome guys. As far as the format, there's going to be 7 matches in total. Now all of the 1v1s, which are going to be the first 5 matches, are going to be 2 games in total. So they can actually break even. So we're going to be trying that out, experimenting with the format a little bit, and then the 2v2 at the very end will of course be a best of 1. So welcome guys, thank you for joining. Hopefully you guys are ready for some Steven Seagal's screen blocker today. Wookiee's taking a bit of a break. Figured he deserved some rest after all of his service in the past couple weeks. So on that note, guys, I think it's about time. We'll get ready to go here. Let me tell the competitors they can start when ready. And the first match is going to be, oh man, this is going to be hard. Oh man, that name right there. Can anybody in chat help me out phonetically, like how I would say that? I know Anna could, but I think she's in the other room, so that's a little bit tricky. So we got Cassius facing off against Mirkivior. Oh man, I probably just mangled that so bad. My sincere apologies, man. I would normally, be better at it. But yeah, we're going to be on Altdorf Outskirts. It's going to be Lizardmen facing off against Greenskins in our first match of the day, which I think is a super hard matchup for the Greenskins. However, Greenskins have a couple really good options that actually can catch the dinos off guard. They now have the Arachnarok Spiders, who have bonus versus large, so they can be really good, especially the Queen. She could summon all the Spiderlings, do a lot of good work, and yeah. I figured there's a lot of 3K streams going on right now. Warhammer needed some love. And of course, these two fine clans here wanted to do battle. So, Wookie will be back. Don't worry. Yeah, he'll be back. He was terrorizing me last night. I was like trying to sleep, and he was just like chortling and making Nurgle sounds next to my bed. All right, so let the players know. Go time. You guys are gonna like the army here from the VM champ. Okay, Mirkvider, yeah. I actually am learning quite a bit about the clans. Like I've played a lot of these guys on ladder and ran into them, but I don't know like the history of a lot of the clans. So if any of their respective clan leaders are in chat and you want to maybe talk to people about your clans or give any details, please do. I mean, I know the basics and who's in the clans, but beyond that, I don't know any of the backstories, terribly well. Yeah. Steven Seagal is quite OP. Yes. So Petrucci in chat says, VM have been around for a long time. They're the most renowned Russian clan. All right. Very cool. Thank you for the information, man. And this is game 1. Beginning of the stream, there's just going to be a single score tab up at the top, so you guys are going to be able to see the score. And at the very end, the team with the most points is going to be the victorious clan. We can go from there. Wow, some serious build changes coming in from VM here. Ben says, hey, Turin, can you give me a shout out for Rudy? Hey, Rudy, how's it going, man? Hope you're doing well. For your boy, Rudy. I don't know if he's here, but if he is, hello. Yeah, I always thought this was a pretty tough matchup for the Greenskins, like even before the DLC. So it's going to be tougher for them now. Lizard Moses on his mounts is pretty damn strong. I mean, he's a linebacker for sure. And Engine of the Gods has some pretty good abilities. It's a little bit tough to catch people with that giant beam, but if you do, I mean, it can be devastating. It can win you a battle. It's very, very strong for sure. Yes, I really want to show you guys the armies, but of course, for the sake of the tournament, I can't show you them until the battle starts here. But this is good. It's giving people time to join, trickle in here. Also, guys, some exciting news. You guys get the early access, early stream news. Starting next weekend, we're going to be starting the Eternal Challenger League Season 2. So that was actually won by Falcon last time. You guys got to see that. And he eventually competed in the Everchosen Invitational. So you guys are going to get to see the Eternal Challenger League starting next weekend, featuring the new content. So we're going to have Skaven, Lizardmen, all that kind of good stuff. It's going to be great. Petrucci, I'm not sure, actually. He might be. I believe there's 5 competitors from each clan. And there's also going to be a 2v2 at the very end as well. 5 or 6. Zen says, Turin, I love you. I've seen almost every video, but never had a chance to catch a stream. Welcome, man. Hopefully the stream holds up. Steam was having some pretty substantial issues this all morning. We actually almost canceled the stream because Steam, like I said, was having issues, and we just kept crashing. But it seems like it's finally stabilized. We had to wait about 40 minutes, but we're here. We're going in deep, and it's going to be fun. I'm really excited to see these clans go into war here. They've been good sports, working together to get the matchups and everything, and yeah. And there's the fine gentleman, Mirkvider. Is that how I say your name? Please let me know. I'd like to say it correct, because I will be using it during the casting, so it would certainly be helpful. Jeffrey Daniels, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. My favorite faction to play, if I were to play in a tournament, is probably Vampire Coast. I think they're much more balanced now. They were a little bit overpowered before this patch, but the nerfs to summons and the nerf to Noctilus, I think it put them in a pretty good place. But as far as like a lot of people will watch my videos and be like, oh, you know, whenever I win with Vampire Coast, they're like, yeah, Vampire Coast is OP. But, you know, I feel like I'm also quite good at Vampire Coast. But yeah, they're probably my tournament faction. Let's see. My favorite faction lore-wise is the Dwarves and the Empire, probably. And also Nurgle. Like, so anything pertaining to Nurgle, like, they don't really have them yet in the game. Hopefully they'll have it someday. They'll have, like, you know, Nurgle demons or something like that. But I really, really like the Nurgle aesthetic. Like, I love the antlers and, you know, all the scary, like, bone spikes coming out. I just think they're so heavy metal. And here we are. It is time. I did notice you, Zen. Don't worry. Joiner, you've missed nothing. You're here for the first game of the day. We're about to get right into it. It's going to be fun. I'm trying to maintain good posture here so I don't get hand problems. And, yeah. Sundstrom? That's pretty rough. You guys are just tormenting. If Lady Turin was here, she would save me. She could pronounce all your names. She speaks Swedish, and she also, of course, Polish, Czech, all that good stuff. I believe Quick Battles is having some problems. Steam as a whole is just having issues. So anyways, firstly, let's talk about the Armies of Cashius. Here in the front line, he does have a couple of goblins, which is a good choice. They have silver shields. You put them on the outskirts of your army. So you guys will probably notice here what he's doing. He's putting his meat in the middle and the chaff out in the flanks. It's more important to hold the middle usually, in my opinion, unless you want to form a firing concave. But in this situation, putting the goblins on the outskirts is going to allow them to take skirmisher fire, which is pretty good. So goblins mixed in with Savage Orcs. So he's got Savage Orcs as well. Savage Orcs will do okay for their cost against skinks. They're really going to beat down red crested skinks pretty bad. So if they're facing off against like skink units, they're going to be pretty solid. But against like Saurus and Temple Guard, they don't do too well. In the back line, he does also have the Baconator, so the Baconator a pretty good pick. He's just competitive in general, but all he has on the Baconator, which is a really, really strange, is Foot of Gork. So he must be using Vindictive Glare and a Goblin Shaman somewhere, but Foot of Gork against Dinos is okay against Temple Guard and Horn One builds, but even still, it's a bit of a bold strategy, Cotton, so I'm really excited to see if Cashius can pull this off with that magic use. He does also have the Rusty Heirs and Goblin Big Boss over here. In the back, he's got Orc Boy Biggins, and some more Biggins. It's a lot of Angry Boars. Anti-large, I mean, Biggins aren't the best as it pertains to like anti-large cav, but they can do the trick for sure. It's just very touchy. These guys only have 20 melee defense, so they pretty much get shreked by like anything they fight if it's not like a large unit. So they got the pigs over here. Over in the forest, it looks like Cashius does have some Vanguard of Forest Goblin Spider Riders. And now for the army of the Lizardmen. It's going to be fun. Yes, yes. So he does have some Salamanders. So he has the Salamander hunting packs, which are going to be super good against the Bacon. However, if the Bacon catches the Salamander hunting packs, they're going to get skewered like pretty bad. They are fast though. They have 70 speed, and the Boar Boy Biggins I think have like 60 something speed. They're very, very slow for cav units. They have like 62 speed. Yes, they're pretty pitifully slow. But the Walk could help them catch these guys. But the Ancient Salamander is going to be pretty slippery for sure. And the rest of the army, it's going to be the Thunderous One. Oh man, so Clan VM coming in with the lightning chair right here. This is going to be a lot of large units for the Greenskins to deal with. And that's the problem with Orc Boar Boy Biggins is they really, like, even against a unit like this, they will do okay damage, but I find they just tear out and they just get beaten down. It's going to be really tough. I think this Lizardman build is going to be very strong. So he's got Tehennawin over here. He does also have 2 Skink Chiefs up in the skies and Saurus Warriors, Red Crested Skinks. I mean, for the most part, the real meat of the army is going to be Tehennawin and the Thunderous One, plus the 2 Skink Chiefs just sniping characters. So I think what the Dino is going to do is we'll let them know they can start the battle. He's probably just going to grab the 2 Skink Chiefs and just go after the caster here. He's probably just going to go after the Bacon, like just take out Warzog. And I mean, there are some archers. It looks like the Rusty Arrows are here. That does give him a little bit of support. And he does also have the FG of the Git to lock them down, but doesn't look like there's a second caster here for the Greenskins, which is very peculiar. Warzog is best known for his Bonewood Staff triggering, and he doesn't have enough spells to trigger the Bonewood Staff, so I'm a little bit concerned. I mean, Foot of Gork is not going to be that useful here. It's going to be decent against maybe the Saurus, if at all. Aside from that, his army's pretty nice. I do like it. I just think that his magic use is going to be a little bit tricky here for sure. So yeah, we have each match that you guys see between 2 players is going to be 2 games in total. The Skink Chiefs are going to be surging forward to snipe out Warzog. FG does go down. The Goblin Archers are going to be turning about face, but I don't know. Yeah, it seems like he was a little bit out of position for that, and I really think bringing some skirmish missiles like the not Rusty Airs, but Morgan's Ancient Marauders as well as Death Scrapers is super solid in this matchup. All right, so the Archers are going to be going downtown here, picking into the Skink Chief up in the skies, and getting some okay value, but nothing to write home about for sure. But I'm sure Mikabor is probably going to be moving here and trying to go after Warzog. They could go drop some rocks back here as well. Now, the Salamander hunting pack really waiting in the back. I would actually like to see him, come out and skirmish with it. I think that would be very solid to just get some poke initially. But I think he's just very, very cautious not to get it picked off. Maybe he's a little bit aware that there might be some sort of a Vanguard here in the forest waiting to kind of pounce on him, but we'll see. So the Greenskins, I think they're really going to need to pick off the Salamander hunting pack early on to get the victory here. And yeah, but the big dinos are going to be so tough. I mean, the Black Orcs will pound out this front line. The Greenskins have a pretty good composition against this, but these big dinos can just be so nasty, especially with Tehedwin, who's going to be summoning Manticores. He plus also, he does have the aura of Important of Warding, which gives that damage resist all nearby units, so he can make a pretty nasty Death Star here with the Thunderous one. So the Piggy's going to be going up and around the flanks. It looks like the Rusty Airs are actually able to fend off the Skink Chief a little bit, but not before they take off like 25-30% off Warzog here. So that's super brutal. I mean, you always got to respect the Air Force, especially now with the new Air Force available to the Lizardmen. If you don't bring a couple missile units to kind of fend these bastards off, you're going to have a really, really bad time. So the Black Orcs are going to be moving in. The Boar Boys are just trying to, skirt around the back here, taking some fire from the Salamander hunting packs. Not too good for those guys. They're looking a little bit Shrek'd here as they're just getting melted by the hunting packs. And the Savage Orcs are going to be charging in the front. And it looks like these Skinks are going to be missing the countercharge here. So this is going to be great for the Savage Orcs. You can see the amount of damage coming in is quite substantial. Black Orcs moving in. The Baconator needs to pop his wall right now, because he's probably not going to be alive much longer, especially if Tehedwin goes after him. But the Bacon does good around the flank and is able to jump on top of the Salamander hunting pack, popping the wall. So very good timing with that. And the hunting pack is going to be crumbling pretty quick here. And you can see on the flanks, well, not literally crumbling, but they're going to be taking a ton of damage because they are large. Force Goblin Spider Riders also coming around the flanks. Tehedwin is being a little bit apprehensive back here. He should certainly charge in here and just get into combat. And you can see here the Red Crested Skinks are fighting Black Orcs, which is a good engagement. Now, Black Orcs, of course, will win that engagement pretty heavily, but they're also going to be taking some damage. So the Savage Orcs are going to be jumping in on top of the Skink cohorts. The other Bacon is going to be trying to get around, and Engine of the Gods coming down, and oh no! Just shrekking those Black Orcs. Those guys just got deleted off the face of the earth. Foot of Gork coming over here, also crushing the Red Crested Skink. So both players going tit for tat, but I certainly think that Clan VM came out a little bit ahead there, just wrecking those Black Orcs with that beautiful beam, and that was a little bit tricky. So Tehedwin is going to be jumping in to fight as well. There is a Goblin Big Boss here, but yeah, he's going to be a meaty, a thick one to bring down, that's for sure. And the two Skink Chiefs have basically killed Warzog, the Baconator, not having a good time. He does drop the effigy of the Git here on the Skink Chief, so at least he's been able to do something, but I really, I like, the boldness of his magic use here, but you need to bring the other spells with Warzog to really get that Bonewood Staff proc. That's what makes him such a good lord. Now, Warzog is about to die. However, he does also kill a Skink Chief, so it's not a complete wash. The Greenskins have gotten some decent value. The backline is going well. The Baconators were able to completely kill the Salamander hunting pack, so you can see they just got wiped out by the Forest Goblin Spider Riders and the Biggins. Now they're going to be collapsing inward, but the Greenskins are leaderless. And, Tehedwin's still alive. He has the Manticore summon. You can see here he's able to get a beautiful terror out on top of the Goblin Big Boss. I mean, the Greenskins are dominating in like almost every aspect of the battle except the leadership fight. I mean, Tehedwin is alive. The Thunderous one is just thundering about and just, running all over these Savage Orc Biggins here. I mean, they do have a bonus for large as well, but nonetheless, the Swords are going to be able to chase them off the battlefield, and they 100% should. Now, the bounce power is a little bit in the favor of the Dinosaurs. The Greenskins, like I said, still have a lot. They still have full health groups of Biggins here, but not having a leader as the Greenskins, plus like most of the meat of this Lizardman army was in their leadership. Tehedwin, plus the Skink Chiefs, plus the Thunderous one. I mean, that is so much thick Dinosaurs to have to deal with. It's going to be pretty tough. So right here, Tehedwin is going to be jumping back in. He's just going to be riding through these forces and, waving his tablet and his little skinks. I always love how, lords up on these, mounts, they just, don't do anything. He's just, up there, just, standing there with his tablet. Although I guess he's, inspiring his nearby troops. Now, this is where the Greenskins could potentially get back in the game. If they get some, Orc Boy Biggins and get a nice rear charge, start to damage to Tehedwin. But, I mean, not having a leader, the Greenskins probably are just going to terror out. Because I think Mirkavir is just going to be able to, take out the Goblin Big Boss, just snipe him out. And look at that beautiful Flock of Doom coming in from Mirkavir here. He's able to get that on top of the Forest Goblin Spider Riders and the Black Orcs, really just saturating that line. And it's going to be even nastier when the Thunderous one comes back because he does have that perpetual AoE lightning. So that lightning is just going to be zapping and just doing a ton of work. And you can see with that, Cashius is going to be withdrawing from the game, realizing that he doesn't really have a chance. So, well played. That's going to be First Blood. First Blood has been drawn, Rambo style, by Clan VM. So let's go ahead and update the scoreboard here. They're going to be going up 1-0 in this Clan War series. Well played to them. And remember, these are all best of 2. So the players here are going to be playing 2 games in total. And please don't crash, team. Come on, you can do it. I believe. How's it going, Misty, my friend? MGL Kaiser, glad to see you, man. Okay, I might need to restart here. Let's see if I can get back into the game. It could be a thing. But yeah, they're going to be best of 2. So I'm probably going to jump back in here. And it looks like we're getting in. Come on. I know you want to do it. Yeah, Steam has been having pretty substantial issues all day. So I'm just going to close that real quick. And let's go ahead and do the force quit. Task manager. Cursed thing. And we'll join up in just a second. But yeah, we're going to be going on to game 2 here. Which should be a party. It was definitely a very solid first game. Hey, Wicked. How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. Don't worry, you guys only missed the first game. We're going to be jumping into game 2 here in just a moment when the game restarts. You guys have not missed much. Yeah, so Clan VM, Clan DDG, it's going to be a total of, I believe, 12 or 14. Yeah, it's going to be 12 1v1s, and then there's going to be a 2v2 to close everything out. So that's going to be the structure of the day. Hey, I believe it certainly was a fast game, but it was a good game, for sure. It's a really hard matchup for the Greenskins, in my opinion. Okay, let's see here. 1 second, guys. All right, and we're back from outer space. Let's go ahead and refresh. Find the lobby. Get in there. Yeah, the orcs are very good at... I mean, you could even get like a group of like Forest Goblin Spider Riders. So the next map is going to be it's going to be Tower of Hoeth. Pick armies and start. Yeah, Greenskins, he did a really good job of killing the Salamander hunting packs. I mean, the Lizardmen can play that style if they want to. They just need to have a little bit more backline protection. Like maybe get some Spear Riders of their own to protect the hunting packs. But I think one of the best ways to beat the Greenskins is just to go big monsters. It's really tough for them to contest that. However, a lot of people aren't taking advantage of the fact that there are serious answers. Like the Arachnarok Spiders are very, very good against large targets now. So let's get Steven Seagal in here to make sure there's no screen sniping afoot. Yes. Yeah, multiplayer's been acting a little bit weird today. We had a lot of like lobby crashes and things like that, so. Don't worry, Zavi. The face will appear at some point when we have intermissions and things like that. So Clan VM, I was informed, is a Russian clan. Very old legacy. And DDG, I believe, is... I don't know if anybody's told me where they're from. Does anybody know where Clan DDG is from? What country they're representing? If anybody knows, please let me know. I'd be interested to find out. Piotr says, always nice to catch your streams live. Cheers from Poland. Cheers, man. Hope you're doing well. Lady Turin says hi. Yeah, Skaven are fun, for sure. They're very, very strong. Okay, we're on the Tower of Hoeth. Players are going to be doing their picks and bans. Oh, the Hens are doing okay today, actually. I mean, they were really bad yesterday, but today I'm doing so-so. Oh, yeah, Salamanders can do a ton of work. They're a really good unit. They're a little bit more finesse, but even still. It's tough to protect them against Greenskins. Spain! Aha! Thank you for the heads up there. I didn't want to get it wrong. They're thinking about their picks and bans still. Turin, I've learned one of the easier ways to maintain hand, and yeah, I drink a ton of water, Zach. I drink so much water. It's a lot. It's a lot. So no stress in that regard. All right, players on their marks. Yeah, no, I'm pretty well hydrated for sure. I'm pretty well hydrated, to say the least. Almost 69 likes. Oh, yeah. There we go. Magnus says, hey, Turin, greetings from Denmark. What do you think of the Greenskin roster could use? I mean, the biggest issue with Greenskins is they can win infantry fights pretty well. They have really good infantry that are very cost-effective. They really have trouble dealing with Lord sniping and large targets. So those are their two biggest weaknesses. If the Greenskins... They did get Arachnarok Spiders, which actually can... hang with, if not beat, Dragonug or Shaggoths 50% of the time. So, and they cost less, plus they're still very good versus infantry. So the Greenskins have some good tools now. What could they get? I mean, healing would be pretty helpful for them. But, I mean, it doesn't really make sense in terms of lore and everything, so... Yeah. Yeah, do make sure to drop that, I'll let them know. Let's roll, boys. Time's a ticking. Yeah, I actually have to go somewhere in about 3 hours, so hopefully we can get it done in that time. I drink Red Bull at the bar because alcohol is bad. Yeah, I don't drink really. I did in college a little bit. Once a month or something, I'd go out with some friends. So, Clan VM is going to be picking the Vampirates, so the Vampire Coast. And we're going to see what Cashius is going to be picking with. There's a couple of really good answers there, for sure. Yeah, Shadowland Apache, I agree. I think Greenskins are a very strong faction. The Arachnok Spiders, people just need to give them a try. Honestly, against Lizardmen, I would always bring the Queen. It's so good. Like, this massive, powerful ROR with anti-large plus summons. It's like, it's so good. And the Dinos can use Salamander hunting packs, but if you have enough Forest Goblin Spider Riders and backline pressure, you can usually kind of keep those guys from being, like, super powerful. Yeah. There's a bunch of options. Yeah, like a Spirit. I think the Greenskins, I mean, you have a pretty good missile line as well with the Rustiers and just Orc Arrow Boys. Like, they can bring down big targets pretty well. So he picked Vampirates and he bans DW. What am I missing right now? DW? Dark Elves? Ban DW. Okay, so they're working that out right now. I don't know why. I just woke up like literally 45 minutes before the stream, so I'm still a little bit rusty, but you know what? We're getting there. And for anyone watching after the fact, I'll certainly have timestamps to all the battles so you guys can skip the chitter chatter if that's kind of your prerogative. What do you think the counts are missing? Vampire counts are really strong. Yeah, they're really strong. I mean, they've certainly... Ooh, Skaven. Skaven versus Coast. All right. Yeah, Nasty Skulkers are incredibly good. They're such a good unit. I mean, great AP, high model count, decent damage output, and an AoE slow. Like, that, it's so good. Greenskins have some really good units, but they are finessey, right? They're relatively squishy on some fronts. They have low melee defense, poor leadership, so you need to be pretty on top of your game to play Greenskins well. But if you're one of those Greenskin mains there, you can be really, really scary. Yeah, Skulkers are really good. Are there any matchups where the Carnosaurs are actually a superior choice? A superior choice to what, Disco Skull? Yeah, that's really the question. So, Vampire Coast versus Skaven here. Players are going to be picking their armies. We're just going to look and make sure that they're off to a good start here. Everything looks good. Steam seems to have stabilized in some respect. King Agizal, what's up, man? Life's going good. Everything's great, man. I'm actually playing in a Warhammer 40,000 league/tournament today, so that's why I have to go at 3 o'clock, which is 2.5 hours from now. If for some reason we can't get through everything, we could probably just cut the 2v2s at the end and just have the winners be determined by that. We'll see. Yeah, Carnosaurs are super good in a bunch of matchups. They're just cost-effective, very powerful, highly mobile. I mean, you can't complain about Carnosaurs. Yeah. I have no idea which clan's going to win, to be honest. No predictions. My least favorite faction to play. Ooh, that's tough. That's really tough. I mean, I kind of like almost all the factions, but I would have to say probably like some of the elvish factions. I'm not a big fan of like missile kiting and stuff like that. Like that I kind of like. I mean, I do like missile factions, but I like the more stationary ones. I don't know, probably some of the elvish factions. Roscoe Jenkins, thank you for coming in hard with the $1 donation. Do appreciate it, man. I see you don't have a message with that, so I guess I'll just say my sincere thanks to you, man. My sincere thanks. All right, here we go. King Agizal used to play 40k. Back in the good old days of 5th edition. Damn. That's a ways back, man. Yeah, we're playing the 8th edition now, so. Liking the army so far from both players. It's looking pretty good. I think this is actually a very even matchup now. It's really good. I think that both factions have great tools against each other. Like Jazales are really good at sniping Vampire Coast size or lords. I mean, Vampire Coast can actually do some really nasty blitzes too. They could use like Morgul's and Crabs and Depth Guard and just charge. It could actually really catch people off guard. But again, I prefer to play the powder game and use Warhounds to chase things down. Yeah. Yeah, dwarves are in a bit of a tricky place, I think. I think they're having some problems. Like, dwarves versus Skaven is so miserable. Oh my god, it's so miserable. It's like that. Dwarves versus Skaven is like how vampire counts versus Chaos used to be. Like, just this, like, horrible, miserable matchup. King Adjazal, thank you for the $2 donation. Do it for Nurgle today. I will. I'm actually playing my Death Guard army against, I don't know what he's playing. I think he's playing Necrons or something. Necron shooting can actually be pretty scary. But I changed up my list a little bit since last time I played Necron, so I think I'll be okay. Last time I had some problems. They were just spamming those flying arcs that, like, oh man, it was so obnoxious. Yeah. Dwarves definitely have some pretty tough matchups now for sure. So it looks like the Vampire Coast player is probably ready. Start when ready. Yeah, I've tried High King a little bit, Shetland. It's not bad. Yeah. Thorgrim, he's decent. You certainly can't bring him against Skaven though, because if they bring a single Jezzail, he's just gonna die. So this is a very different build. It actually, the build from VM is like almost identical to the builds I bring against Skaven, with the exception of like 3 very, very like off-meta units, which is going to be really interesting to see how he uses those. Cashius, this build looks good for sure. Yeah, Skaven could bring no frontline against Dwarves. Jablo, 100%. If you were playing Skaven, you could bring like just like snipers and Rattling Gunners, and then just spam Doom players, or like there's so many different ways to beat Dwarves with Skaven now. It's really tough. And it looks like Cashius is the first one ready. Yeah, if like the Dwarves just have so many problems with like chariot type things, and against Skaven, like Doom players have such a small hitbox, it's really hard to actually shoot them. Oh man, it's hard. Villain, thank you for the 10, man. He says, hey, Turin, always love the streams. I've recently began to play a lot more of the Dark Elves, but I come up against a lot of Skaven since the update. If you are playing against Skaven as Dark Elves, don't bring a lot of big targets. What I would recommend is spamming, depending on your micro, I would recommend to build something like this. So as far as leadership goes, I think Wrathy is a pretty good choice. Putting her up in the air is a little bit risky, but even still, it's not a bad choice. You could get a Supreme Sorceress with Death. You know, there's a bunch of different options. Malekith on a chariot isn't bad either, but basically you're just going to be spamming a ton of cost-effective, just cheap infantry. So you could just get a bunch of, you know, Bleak Swords and Dread Spears, mix in maybe like 1 or 2 Witch Elves. From there, I would probably get like 3 or 4, or maybe like 3 Dark Riders with shields. You really need to pressure the back line. And Shades are actually not bad because they have stock, so they can sneak up on the Skaven and actually get some really good missile fire. But you're always going to need to bring some anti-mass. So the Shades will deal with most mass. They're just not going to deal with Doom players well. So you need to bring maybe a couple Cold One Knights as well. So just Bleak Swords, Dread Spears, 2 Cold One Knights, couple Dark Riders, couple Shades, and some sort of a Caster Lord. Death is really good. Just get Spirit Leech and then Aspect to the Dread Knight. Like those, that can be really, really good. But it's really important to pressure the back line with the Dark Riders. If you don't, you're simply going to lose. So yeah, that would be my 2 cents, man. Hopefully that helped answer your question. Yeah, Shetland, I'm down, man. We'll play. Yeah, gyrocopters need to do a little bit better for sure. I actually use gyrocopters against Skaven quite a bit. I use bolt turrets as well with dwarves. Still use a bunch of thunders. You kind of have to. Thunders actually outtrade Rattling Guns, so that's not bad. Jezzail sniping your lords is really tough though, so you kind of have to keep your lord back. I actually use Gromby. I like Gromby quite a bit in that matchup because of the smoke bomb. Yeah, I'm trying to do the math in my head, Villain, but a Supreme Sorceress with the Lore of Death, just put her on a horse and kind of keep her in the woods and just spam Spirit Leech on the Skaven Lord. You advance with the Bleak Swords and the Witch Elves. Witch Elves are actually really good against Skaven too. I mean, a little bit squishy, but they can like rampage any constructs, rat ogres, or flayers, things like that. And Cold One Knights aren't bad either. Like bring me like 1 or 2 of those. Even just 1 Cold One Knight is probably fine. But you don't want to be sending in your heavy hitters until your infantry saturates the Skaven and you get the Dark Riders in the back line. It's super important to do that. Super important. Man, quite an army here. Quite an army. My apologies for the wait, guys. Clearly, neither of these players wants to lose this next game, so there's a lot at stake, but we are going to hopefully get through this. Yeah, some last-minute tweaks. Dwarves, well, I mean, technically, if you're looking at, like, tabletop, the dwarves have the throne bearers, or what are those guys called? Like, there were dwarves being carried by dwarves. It's basically what you saw from Thorgrim. Like, standard lords could have a mount like that. So, I think Skaven are a little bit stronger than Lizardmen. Not by much. It's a good matchup. I mean, Lizards can do a lot there. I mean, the skin cohorts are super cost effective. You have it's tough. Skaven are just so good at killing big targets. And if you bring, like, they could just go Jezzails and then Flayers. And Flayers will kill all your Lizardmen infantry, you know, and then the Jezzails will kill all of the Flyers, their big targets. So it's tough. Yeah, Chaos hasn't been a super common pick, that's for sure. Last minute Chevrons coming in as we do get ready here. Welcome one, welcome all. And next weekend, we will indeed be starting the Eternal Challenger League. So it's going to be the same format as last season. We're going to have 8 weeks of competition, and it's going to be 4 players per week. So it'll be a little bit quicker probably because it's just going to be, you know, one lobby with, like, you know, best of 3s. But yeah, so next week we'll have that. It'll be fun. And from here, we'll... What about a Dawi version of Verminous Valor? That could be kind of cool, actually. Like, something that helps him explode out of, like, being trapped. I think that'd be really good. Oath Rage. Throw some Ironbreakers into a wheelbarrow and have a Thane charge on them like a chariot. Oh, man. Alright, we'll let him know. We need to start. Time is of essence. Lizardmen got some really good stuff. They got some really, really good stuff. Yeah, I watch a ton of Warhammer 40k channels. I watch Mini Wargaming, of course, is one of the first ones I discovered because they're the biggest, obviously. But I really like Tabletop Tactics, Hellstorm Wargaming, Winter's SEO is one of my favorites. You know, my biggest problem with, like, watching bat reps on YouTube is, like, for 40Ks, I'm a bit of a competitive player. Like, I only really like to watch competitive games. Like, if somebody's bringing, like, a fluffy casual list, I don't like watching it. It's just kind of, like, boring to me because it seems suboptimal. Like, I like watching something where it's, like, heated competition, right? And it's not, like, you know, Careberry. So, and most 40K channels are very narrative focused, and they just do, like, fun lists. And I like to see what's good, like, and learn about the metagame. So there's not too many competitive 40K channels, actually. Major Kong, thank you for the donation. Keep calm and kill, maim, and burn. Well, we'll see this game. So Steven Seagal, thank you for your service as always. And we're back to the battles. No, I mostly just, as it pertains to 40K, I usually just watch bat rep channels. But when I was first learning the game, I loved watching all the casual channels because I didn't know the rules and it was helping. But now that I know the rules, I'm like, why are you using this unit? It sucks. You know, like, I have that in the back of my head always. So it's kind of hard for me to enjoy narrative games. Yeah, I've always kind of been that way, though. It's just how I am. You know, it's for a certain group of people, but there's really not too many competitive 40K channels. Like, occasionally, like, Tabletop Tactics will do competitive stuff because the guys from Tabletop Tactics, especially Lawrence, the guy who's, like, one of the main dudes on the channel, he's, like, a super high-level tournament player, but most of the lists that they bring on the channel are, you know, fluffed down, right? So, I don't know. Dwarven trains? Do dwarves have trains in Warhammer Fantasy? That would be something. That would be something, all right. Chaos Dwarves have golems and things. Yeah, Chaos Dwarves probably going to have some cool stuff. So, for the Army of the Vampire Coast, it's very much going to be a blitz build. So, in total, we do have 4 Mourngulls, I believe. So, yeah, it looks like there's going to be 4, and they're super good against Skaven. They're Terror, they're Anti-Infantry, which is most of the Skaven roster. They can actually kill Rat Ogres and Doomflayers. So, these guys are incredibly good. They have stock, so they're able to sneak up on the Skaven army without taking gunfire. A beautiful pick here from Mikravor. So that's really, really good. He does also have a couple hounds, so Scurvy Dog's going to be lurking around the shadows. He's got a whole front line of zombie pirate deckhand mobs with halberds who are just going to be scooting forward and advancing, and it looks like he is going to be starting in the forest, which isn't a bad idea. He does also have Sirens, so the Sirens here, they got their prison shanks out. They cause terror. You have to allocate magic damage, but again, Skaven have a lot of magic now, so it's, I mean, Brass Orb, you know, Ikit Claw, most of them do magic damage, so. Yeah, it's a blitz army. It's got a Vampire Coast, just a couple bats up in the skies, Fell Bats, and Mourngulls. That's really kind of the meat of his army. And for the Skaven, check this out. We got oh, wow, look at this front line. So it's Warplock Jezzails across the entire front line mixed in with Skaven Slave Slingers. Now, he is going to be putting it back, but this is a ridiculous amount of firepower. My only concern is that the Mourngulls are going to be a little bit tricky to see until they get close. So on top of that, we do also have the Council Guard, the Storm Vermin RORs. These bad boys, anti-large, armor piercing, unbreakable. So this is really going to be a good backbone against those elite troops, right? They're unbreakable, very good against Morgul's. Granted, Morgul's can actually pimp slap them up pretty good, but, you know, Council Guard going to be very good with Skrulk. So the back line of the Skaven is just going to be Clan Rats. He does have a couple Slingers here and 2 groups of Storm Vermin. So a very interesting army. In total, he does have 3 Jezzails, it looks like 3 or 4, and a bunch of the Skaven Slave Slingers and Lord Skrulk. So Skrulk Daddy is going to be super good. He'll kill the Sirens incredibly quick. And yeah, this is going to be a wild one, guys. Token Dead Guy comes in with a $50 donation. Thank you so much, man. Love the vids. Stay gold, Bubala. What does that mean? I have no idea. Was that like brother? I feel like it is. Thank you, man. Really appreciate that donation. Hopefully you're enjoying the stream, and we're going to keep the entertainment going for you guys this afternoon. Yeah, it's going to be fun. And, you know, just in the downtime in between games, just realize we just get to hang out and chat. It's a good time for all. So start battle when ready. Start when ready. Yeah, I really have no predictions. I mean, a lot of it, I think, is going to come down to the micro of Cashius. Is he going to be able to protect the Jezzails from the Morghuls? He does have some anti-large. He doesn't have too many cheap spears, though. I think having more Clan Rats with spears would be useful, but I mean, that is a lot of firepower for sure, but he has scurvy dogs everywhere. I mean, and Fellbats, there's a ton of pressure. So yeah, you can see here he's going to be setting up his army a little bit differently, which I like. He's mixing in the Jezzails in the back line to make sure they have more cover. So that is good. Skrulk Daddy just has summons and the Lieber and the Rod of Corruption, so that's pretty much as expected. And yeah, just going to hang tight and wait for the game to start. Skaven Slave Slinger is going to be dropping some of them hot pebbles. I mean, but this is good from the Vampire Coast. He's making sure to hide all of his big stuff in the forest so they can't be like picked off by the Jezzails, and he's just probably going to advance with the zombies and hopefully, you know, waste ammunition and stuff there. Oh man, quite a battle we're going to have here. I don't even play Warhammer games. I need you to zoom in. I have no idea what I'm watching. Well, so if any of you guys are new to Warhammer, it's the way that I focus on it. It's a bit of an art. It's a real-time strategy, right? So you have armies, and you have a multitude of units. So think of it like StarCraft 2 or Warcraft 3, for example. Like this unit of zombie-powered deckhand mobs is controlled as one entity. So if you're playing StarCraft, this would be like a space marine, or be like a fire bat or something. And yeah, like each one is controlled differently. But again, it's bigger. There's morale. So certain units are going to be suffering from leadership. You can see there's a big stat card here. It's very complex for sure in terms of its multiplayer. So. But again, the main focal point of the game for many people is the campaign, but I like to focus on multiplayer because I feel like it's really rich and exciting and fun. Yes, yes. Sam Sampson, you need to lay down. What's wrong, man? You all right? Hopefully you're doing well here. Yeah, both armies are pretty good. Gutter Runners with Poison, going to be throwing their ninja stars, doing a little bit of harassing, but there's going to be a massive onslaught of Vampire Ghosts coming out of the forest here. It's going to be pretty scary. The dogs are actually up in Vanguard. It looks like, no, but he switched them at the last second here. And the battle's underway. So he switched them at the last second. A lot of tournament players do that because if their opponent is screen sniping them, they want to make sure their opponent can't like react to where things are. So we do have the Scurvy Dogs here in the forest, going to be swooping out, going after these Gutter Runners. That could actually be a pretty good little catch here, but Gutter Runners are very kitey. They're going to be able to slow down the dogs with their snare nets, but the dogs are going to be jumping in and feasting on the souls of these rats. So you can see the dogs just getting in there and doing some good work. So very good pick here by the Vampire Coast. They might be able to break off these Gutter Runners. Most likely not. The Gutter Runners do have some help nearby with the Storm Vermin. And the Jezzails are going to be shooting downtown, going after the Fellbats. So far, no good targets. Vampire Coast doing a very good job hiding its main army in the forest here. And yeah, you can see they're pretty far back. The Jezzails and the Sirens and all these other guys are going to be lurking right here. And Anna says hello, by the way, guys. So the Skaven Slave Slingers throwing their pebbles. Dogs are able to get some good chewing here on the Gutter Runners. But for the most part, Vampire Coast advancing without taking too much damage. And this is good. Anytime you can kind of create this sort of pressure before the fighting starts, not bad at all. So the Skaven are able to kind of secure their flanks. They get the Storm Vermin out there. And the Jezzails are wasting these Fellbats. But I mean, that's a good use. Jezzails don't have a ton of ammo. So being able to, even get 15% of their ammo wasted on Fellbats is super cost effective. Now the Morghuls are advancing. They're going to be in sight relatively soon. The Skaven are going to kind of know what's up. And from there, they're going to have to turn all their Jezzails to pick off the Morghuls. Because if they don't, the entire Skaven front line is going to terror out extremely quick. Morghuls do, of course, cause terror. So there's a couple variables there. So here we go. So VM advancing with the Morghuls. Cashius here is going to be throwing some pebbles, trying to even out the score. And again, both players are going to be playing 2 games. So if it's a 1-1, then the players hit draw, and they're essentially like a tie between the 2 players. We would do best of 3s, but with this many players, it would just take forever as well. So the Vampire Coast front line is going to be advancing, taking a lot of pebbles to the face, and a couple of the zombies are being picked off by the pebble fire. The Morghuls are now visible, right? So all of the Jezzails need to turn and start shooting at them. If they don't, it's going to be a quick game. I think that the Morghuls and company are going to be able to pile through and just do a ton of work. So here they come. So the Morghuls are in the front line. Storm Vermin are somewhat resilient, but again, they're not immune to terror psychology, so they could potentially get terror routed very, very quickly. And the Jezzails, the Skaven firing teams, are going to be shooting downtown into this one group of Morghuls with some very heavy focus fire. And the Council Guard are also going to be surging forward to meet these zombie pirate deckhand mobs. Now in the back line, you can see Fellbats are going to be swooping in. So beautiful timing here for Clan VM. They're going to be jumping in with the Fellbats on top of the Jezzails. And some of the Clan Skaven Slaves with Spears are going to be helping. And yeah, it's going to be really tough to protect this. Morghuls also bum rushing at the back. And the Vampire Coast front line will win this. They have a much better front line. Here comes a Pestilent Breath in the front, doing a nice little amount of damage to the zombie pirate deckhand mob. So very, very good cast there from Cashius. But the Vampire Coast hasn't even come out of the forest with its main army, which I think is a bit of a mistake. His timing was a little bit off in some respects, but I guess it's a bit of a delayed engagement, just letting the rest of the forces saturate, because now the Fellbats are going to be taking quite a bit of damage before the main fighting starts. The Morghuls are doing an okay job, but very, very good stuff here from Cashius. He's actually using the Council Guard to pick these guys off and really protect the Jezzails. So yeah, it's going to be a close game. The Vampire Coast main line a little bit behind. Like, had these Morghuls and everyone else attacked at the same time as the front line, I think it would have been a much different situation. I think the back line would have been heavily overwhelmed by now, but anyways, Morghuls in the front, going to be slapping up on Skrulk Daddy, but Skrulk is, you know, he's no pushover. He does have 72 melee defense with the stand your ground being popped. Morghuls do have a bonus for his infantry, and Skrulk could, of course, actually he's immune to psychology because he does have frenzy, so he's not going to be getting terror out of him anytime soon. But the back line of the Jezzails are being slapped out. The Fellbats doing a really good job. Jezzails aren't the tankiest, of course. I mean, 70 armor isn't bad, but, you know, even Fellbats just kind of harping on him for a couple minutes, and Scurvy Dogs in the back line causing some serious problems are going to be quite good. Now, the remnants of the Jezzails, we do have these ones over here trying to snipe out Count Noctilus, which isn't a bad choice. Vampire Coast without their leadership is going to be struggling. And you can see the Council Guard is still in good shape. Skrulk's in good shape. It is actually a really, really even fight. Frontline fight is a bit of a wash. You know, the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers are going to be beating those zombie pirate deckhand mobs. And yeah, it looks like a lot of the Vampire Coast frontline is crumbling, but Noctilus is still here. The Libra Bubonicus being cast on these undead units. Very, very good play here from Cashius, able to kind of get those guys down. Skrulk, of course, has a magic sensor. So Skrulk does magic damage. So anytime there's a ghostly unit, he's going to be able to pimp slap them pretty damn bad. So very, very good stuff from Skrulk, getting on that target right there. But the Vampire Coast still has a lot of punch, guys. They got two Morghuls right here. Count Noctilus, of course, has Invocations of the Heck, which it looks like he's going to be dropping on top of the Sirens, perhaps. No, it looks like that was actually a rat summon coming down. So the Clan Rats were summoned right there. And it's actually going to be a Race Storm going down on Skrulk. So Skrulk's a little bit beat up, but the Bounce Power certainly, I think, is in the favor of, I don't know, it's hard to say. It's a pretty close battle, but I think the Skaven have an advantage. The Council Guard are going to be really tough to kill, and they are just dragging down these Morghuls. So who would have thought that, like, Stormburn with Halberds would be doing a good job? And it looks like the Morghuls are just being shanked. Man, the Council Guard tearing those guys to shreds. Beautiful stuff. And, you know, if Skrulk needs to fall back on top of the Council Guard, he can, and he's going to be very, very tough to kill. But most of the guns for the Skaven are offline. The Jezzails here are pretty much dead. There's a couple slingers kind of lurking in the shadows, but the Storm Vermin are holding pretty firm. 112 kills here on the Storm Vermin. Those guys are doing a great job. And, you know, even the Clan Rats are doing okay. The Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers here are actually, with their fire damage, beating down the zombies. Not that they're weak to fire, but it looks really cool. So they're able to do a really good job here just trading with the Zombos. And, yeah, some of the Skaven elite troops really helping out in the metagame here against the Vampire Coast. Skrulk is in good health. Some Fellbats in the back, chasing off the Jezzails. So the Vampire Coast player doing a very, very good job of chasing off a lot of the ranged elements, making sure the Jezzails aren't a factor, but the Skaven infantry is really turning out to be the name of the game. The Council Guard doing a very good job, the Storm Vermin holding quite firm, and Skrulk is he's in good shape. I mean, Noctilus might be trying to hunt him down. We'll see. Count Noctilus is in here kind of fighting. He's got his trident and his pitchfork. He's going to be shanking some of these Storm Vermin, but, you know, he doesn't have too many Morghuls left, if any at all. Looks like he's going to be summoning some zombies right here on top of the back of these Storm Vermin. This could actually be bad for the Storm Vermin. They don't have good leadership, but it looks like they're going to be turning around to charge these zombies to kind of, you know, temporarily prevent the rear charge. Fellbats up in the skies for the Vampire Coast are going to be lurking and looking for some of the goodies here. The Morghuls are also going to be looking around, and yeah, but the Invocation of the Heck keeping these Morghuls up. This is a very close game. Honestly, it could go either way. It's really going to come down to the micro with the leadership. You can see here the Scurvy Dogs are in pretty good shape as well. They could actually jump on Skrulk. I mean, Skrulk could probably kill them, though, especially with the Council Guard coming in. Council Guard actually do give Guardian, so they're going to be pretty meaty. And it looks like there's going to be a Race Storm coming down, so Noctilus going to be summoning some evil zombie witchcraft from the skies and bombing these guys, but it looks like they're able to dodge that, only losing one model to that Wraith Storm. Wraith Storm isn't super good against units that are moving. It's better if they're stationary. So anyways, the Morghuls are going to be charging in, but the Wraith Guard, or the Council Guard, are unbreakable, guys. That's going to be super useful. Typically, Skaven in the late game before this patch actually had like mass routes and things like that, but in this case, they're actually doing really good. Cashius looking to even out this series against Clan VM here and take the first victory for DDG. A very, very good game by both players. So Count Noctilus here is in the pit fight. He's going to be going after Skrulk, but this is a really risky strategy. I mean, the Council Guard aren't the best in terms of their offensive damage output. They still do have good APs. They're going to be able to kind of chew him down over the course of a long, grindy fight. The Storm Vermin do also screen over there and finish off those Scurvy Dogs. And Skrulk is just kind of cackling and being a rat. He does have 42 speed. Noctis is much slower. He does have 31 right now because of the snare nets. So as long as Skrulk doesn't get caught by Noctilus, I think the Skaven should be in pretty good shape. Balance of power is starting to ebb even more in the favor of the Skaven here, as these Storm Vermin are really holding. A couple of Jezzails in the back have come back online, which is quite nice, but the Fellbats are going to be swooping over there and taking those guys out. So this is a very, very good game between these two players here. So the Bats get in there. Jezzails are pretty much done for. They're probably going to break. I mean, Jezzails do have like 26 melee defense, or what is it, like 25? That's not bad, but the Fellbats are going to be able to kill them easily just based on sheer numbers. So back to the main fight. Skrulk is pretty much playing Ring Around the Rosie here with big old Noctilus. Noctilus is going to be chasing him down. Oh man, look at this rat. I mean, Skrulk honestly could fight this. He might want to. I mean, Skrulk is very, very powerful, but oh, this is really bad, actually. Yeah, Skrulk turns around. He gets slapped by one of the Morngulls there. He's going to be sending that rat flying pretty far, but he needs to get those halberds. He needs to get some defensive units. The Council Guard need to get over here. I mean, if Skrulk can stand on top of the Council Guard, he will be able to win this battle. But very beautiful play here from Mirkavir, just able to kind of chase away Skrulk from the main army. But if Cashius can get Skrulk back to the Council Guard, stand on top of them, get the Guardian ability, and also get the anti-large against all these troops, I mean, he's going to be in good shape, I think. I think this Skaven can still win this. They have a lot of troops kind of around the battlefield. Slingers are coming back online and just peppering these Morngulls, which is going to give them some pretty steady damage. And, you know, Skaven, if anything, are very good at scurrying away. So he's going to be running right now. Skrulk needs to get back on top of these guys and just stand and fight. I would probably get Skrulk and actually turn and fight right now and just fight with the halberds. Another Wraithstorm is going to be coming down, doing some decent damage, but there's still 100 or 99 of these guys, which is quite incredible. And, yeah, this is quite a fight. We got a real barn burner on our hands. This is a serious one for sure. So the Gutter Runners are going to be piling in to kind of peel off these Morngulls. The Council Guard are just holding firm. Beautiful stuff. I'm really happy to see these Skaven can actually stay and sustain combat versus an undead faction. It's normally so hard for them. So Skrulk Daddy's back online. Going to be popping the Rod of Corruption nearby. Going to be hitting all these troops. Doesn't do a ton of damage against like entities like Morngulls, but nonetheless, it's still going to generate some pretty decent value. And yeah, looks like this Skaven might be able to pull this one out. But even still, Vampire Coast still has Noctilus. There's still some Morngulls lurking in the shadows, and the Fellbats are doing such a good job. These Fellbats are MVPs. 59 kills on a group of Fellbats is no joke. Skaven still have Clan Rats, Skaven still have Slingers. It looks like the Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers are actually just Rambo right now. 192 kills on those Tail Slashers. Now back in the main fight, I really think the Council Guard are going to be the the make or break here. But no, don't run Skrulk away. Run him back, run him back. Good stuff from Cashius. He does run back to his troops here. And if he's able to get the anti-large, once the Morngulls die, Noctilus is just going to get dragged down, just killed by the Council Guard. I don't think he's going to be able to beat those guys. Man, such a battle. Skaven can make flying hell pits. I don't know about that. That would be a little bit OP if like a hell pit could fly. So over here, Gutter Runners with Poison going to be coming back in, maybe to just kind of pin off Noctilus. The Morngulls are pretty much dead. Skrulk and company, yeah, he's probably just going to want to stay near those guys. The rest of the Vampire Coast army is probably going to be killed by the remnants of the Skaven here. So the Skaven slaves with Slingers and these Clan Rats should be able to beat these zombie Pirate Jackhand mobs. The Clan Vulcan Tail Slashers are, there's some Storm Vermin online, but the Tail Slashers, I'm not sure where they went. Oh, here they are. They're back. And they have 193 kills. That is pretty incredible for sure. And Skrulk is just hiding. He's doing a great job just hiding and just running circles around the Council Guard, keeping that Guardian. Council Guard will be finishing off these zombie Pirate Jackhand mobs. We did actually get slapped with an Invocation of Nehek, which is going to be good, keeping them fighting a little bit longer, getting a couple more kills on these Council Guard in these very, very tight game. I mean, Noctilus, if he has more summons, he might be able to pull this out just through sheer attrition, but I don't know. I feel like he must be running pretty low on Winds of Magic. And for anyone who doesn't know, Noctilus has had some pretty serious nerfs in this most recent patch. He lost 500 HP, which is actually a lot for a Footlord. He lost 5 melee defense, and of course summons were nerfed pretty heavily. But that's also going to affect Skrulk. His summons aren't going to last too long, so both players are kind of receiving the back end of that nerf right there. So some of the Skaven Slave Slingers coming back in. These zombie Pirate Jackhand mobs about to be finished off here. Although on the other side, it looks like Vampire Coast was able to actually stabilize. This is not good for the Skaven. These Halberds, VM Mirkavir here, able to kind of chase these guys off, and the Fellbats are going to be chasing off the Slingers. These Slingers need to start peppering these zombies and just getting rid of those guys. But look at this. This is just a meaty Skaven army here. But it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time for sure. Udal, I don't have a clan, actually. I'm not in a clan. Yeah. So, the Council Guard here, they do have the bonus for Slarge. Going to be just poking in here, but not that it helps against Noctilus because he is infantry-sized. But nonetheless, they have 27 weapon strength, which isn't much to write home about. But let's go ahead and take a look at their AP value. So they do have 17 or 18 AP damage, so that's going to add up against Noctilus, and you can see Skrulk, if he gets in there and starts clubbing on Noctilus, I think will be in pretty good shape. He probably should, to be honest. I don't know if he has something he's saving up for, but the Hard Knock life is getting dragged down, and it looks like Vampire Coast is being taken apart on other aspects of the battlefield, so you can see the Skaven here, the Clan Rats, are able to actually win this fight. And yeah, both players, they can actually fast forward if they want to. They probably should at this point. I don't think Noctilus is going to be able to win. If Skrulk does have Contaminate as well, so if he's able to come in here and break the leadership of Noctilus, oh my god, this is such a grind. Yeah, thanks, Felix. It's a little bit tricky with Clan Wars to organize them as well as my regular tournaments because there's more players, number one. And number two, it's people connecting from so many different places that sometimes they can't see each other's lobbies. But yeah, for most tournaments, it's pretty easy to organize. But I really do appreciate the kind words, man. I try my best. So here, the Storm Vermin are fighting, the Council Guard are going to be fighting, and Noctilus is getting close to his healing cap. He is getting dragged down here, but I think that's probably going to be it. And we can see here, can fast forward if you want. Actually, I don't know. If it screws up their micro, I don't want him to. And you can actually see the bounce power ebbing and flowing. And this is what I'm talking about. Regular Skaven. What is that spell here? Oh, another rat summon. So Skrulk is not out of steam. He gets a summon of clan rats here to attack Noctilus in the back, which will certainly help. But Skaven in the late game typically do buckle off like this. But the Council Guard, thankfully, those guys are unbreakable. And you know what would actually be a really good tactic here for the Skaven? If you're in a situation like this against the Vampire Coaster and Undead faction or anyone, for example, and they have a more powerful Lord who's still alive, what you do is you actually grab your Lord and you pretend to attack, right? So the opponent's going to get excited and be like, oh, they're going to come fight me, I can fight them. But before you get in there, you actually pull back, so they're going to waste time instead of attacking your troops here by thinking and wasting attack orders on Lord Skrulk, even though they won't ever be fighting. So that's a very good tactic. Oh my god, do you guys see that? Noctilus just did like a 360 spin. We should actually watch this close for a minute and see what he does. Yeah, no scope for sure. He does kind of blend in a little bit. No, the Discord's all good. Yeah. Discord is all good. Yeah, vampires and lore are pretty overpowered. Like, if you take a lore vampire, they can just kill armies, like, you know, small armies by themselves. They're very, very powerful, so. So here, Noctilus is just getting shanked down by all the rats. Skrulk is just going to be watching. The bounce fire is ebbing in the favor of the Skaven here. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have any more Libras left. If he did, that would probably just end the game right now. But the bounce power is, yeah, it's going in the favor of the Skaven. I think they're going to win this one. The Storm Vermin are in good enough shape. They still have a fair amount of HP. Slingers are coming in as well. Noctilus, I mean, I would probably keep the Slingers back and just, like, save them in case Noctilus does break out. At least you could kind of pebble him down a little bit. Yeah. Hard to say. Hard to say. So Skrulk's going to be going in with the steel chair. He's had enough of this shit. He's scurrying in. Ooh, with a big club on Noctilus, which actually almost breaks his leadership. And with that, you can see Noctilus is actually going to be wavering here. Contaminate is very, very good against Undead. It actually buckles him pretty quick. Skrulk's in good shape, and I mean, even if Skrulk takes a little bit of damage, he can simply retreat. And Noctilus is going to have a harder time focusing him because of the saturation here of all the Skaven. Yeah, look at that. 4 leadership, 6 leadership, Arcane Conduit has been popped. Some more Slingers are going to be coming in. You could honestly put the Slingers back here and maybe get some Pebbles into the back. Negative 11, critical binding. He's crumbling now. 0 leadership, so he's going to start taking a lot of HP. So very good stuff from Cashius here. It looks like Cashius of Clan DDG from Spain is going to be evening out the series here. It's going to be 1-1, and we will be moving into the next match here. Hey, Leon, thank you for the kind words. Really appreciate it, man. Don't worry, I will. I always run tournaments and things like that. I'm not going anywhere. If my hands stop working, I will. Lady Turin will do the camera work, and I'll just cast, perhaps. She knows. Yeah, she agrees. She's back there. And with that, Cashius, with a very grindy, just brutal game, he's able to take that and tie up the series for his clan. The pride of the clan is salvaged, and that is it. So let's go ahead and hopefully the game doesn't crash when I minimize again. And Clan DDG is going to even out the series there. Well played to those players. GG's. And we're going to be jumping over to the next lobby here. So let's go ahead and go to the caster's desk, and we're gonna go. There might be a little bit of downtime here because Steam is having serious issues today, as usual. It always decides to do that. Whether it's the Ever Chosen or this, like Steam's always like, you know what, screw your tournament. Let's just have problems right now. So looks like it's good. We're gonna be jumping in. Yeah, great job, both players. Those were amazing games. Both guys played awesome games, and it's always good to start a series on a very even match. So we're gonna be jumping into the next lobby now. I'm getting ready. Start when ready. Broken hammer is fine. Go. All right, so we're back. Yeah, my hands are pretty bad, unfortunately, Magnus. It's not a good situation. There are days when I can't work at all. I try and at least have 2 videos a day for you guys, which is already, it's a bit of work, because if you think about it, all the games I play myself for the most part. I usually don't cast other. Occasionally, I'll do community cast, but I like to play the games myself because I feel like the best way to earn credence and is to play your own battles, right? Because then people will respect what you say if you're competent in your battles. Whereas like if I only casted other people's games, I feel like I don't know. That's just my opinion. Yeah, thank you, man. I'm growing a little bit of a haggard beard. I've been terrible with facial hair. I might do a 3K stream in the next couple days. Yeah, because I know a lot of people are doing them right now, but there was a lot of 3K streams. I know Italian Spartacus is streaming. If you guys want to go see him play 3K, he's solid. Like he's my bro, so go check him out if you guys are interested on that. But personally, yeah, I just wanted to get a Total War stream in. Total War Warhammer, that is. What? So, I think that like Vampire Coast doesn't really have too many bad matchups. If you're asking about like factions that I think are very strong, Vampire Coast doesn't really have too many bad matchups. Skaven don't really anymore either, honestly. Like, what's really bad for Skaven? They can fight everything now. They can fight vampires. They can fight like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, what factions do not have unbreakable units? So if we look at the elves, the dark elves do not have one. The high elves, do the high elves have one? The Phoenix Guard aren't unbreakable. No. Wood elves do have one. They have the Winterheart Guard. The dwarves have slayers. Chaos has a vampire. All the undead have unbreakable units, of course. Chaos has a chaos spawn. I mean, most factions do actually. There's just a couple that don't. Hey, Falcon, appreciate it, man. That does mean a lot. Thank you, man. Kind words coming in. And Falcon, get ready for the Eternal Challenger League, man. You got to come defend your strap in the next couple weeks. Udall says, how much do I have to pay if I want to get a picture of me kissing Italian's bald head? Oh, Jesus. Well, I don't know, man. I have to think about that one. Probably greasy. I used to play Shogun 2 quite a bit. So we actually have undead versus or vampire counts. Hang on. Turn off large armies. And start when ready. They have large armies on. That would be cheating. Haggis of Death. I eat pretty well, to be honest, but basically, I know there's a lot of new people to the channel, but I have a lot of like history of damage in my hands. Like I was a pretty serious athlete when I was younger. I played football. I did boxing. Just all kinds of stuff, right? So I played running back in high school football, and my hands got pretty jammed up in that. I also got in a car accident when I was in high school that really smashed my hand. So after that, I was fine. Like it felt weird, but then over the course of like 3 or 4 years, when I turned 21, like I started riding a motorcycle. I was lifting weights 7 days a week, doing upper body every day like an idiot, and just like overstraining my hands. Like I would game for 6 hours a day. I'd lift weights for 2 hours a day. And I actually woke up one morning and out of the blue, like I woke up and my hands were like shaking, and I couldn't even grab bottles. And for like 3 months, my hands were shot. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't game. I couldn't write. I couldn't like hold things. I couldn't drive. It was pretty wild. It just happened out of the blue. So basically I just had like severe damage in my hands. I just like built up and just something snapped in my hand. So it's never been the same since then. But over the course of like 4 or 5 years, I was able to get back to the point where I could play almost as good as I could before, but just not for as long. So, yeah. Falcon's Gold One chariots are unbreakable. Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Haggis. So I'll take that into account. Lady Turin eats very healthy. She's actually on an AIP diet right now, so maybe I'll just like join her more with that. Wicked D says his face is unbreakable. Oh. Yeah, this is an incredibly hard matchup for the, even though like it's not as bad as it used to be. It's people have kind of learned, but it's still very hard for the Warriors of Chaos, in my opinion. But I mean, there's plenty of ways to deal with it. But vampire counts just have such an easy time. You basically just use 2 Terrorgeist and a Mortis Engine, and it's like Mortis Engine wins the infantry fight. Terrorgeist can usually bully Shaggoths with the support of a vampire caster, especially Manfred with Lord of Death, and it's like it's really, really tough. You know, a lot of people tell me I look like Doctor Strange. I mean, I'm sure I look like a more haggard one, but I'll take that. I would love to be in the Marvel MCU. God damn. Yeah. Like, that was... Endgame was so good. Oh, God. It was so good. I saw it yesterday. Manly tears. Well, because Captain America has been, like, my favorite superhero for a long time. And, like, just seeing, like...
Don't spoil.
There's no spoilers. No spoilers. Trust me. And it's not what you think. Like, everybody, like, it's not what you think. You guys aren't going to be able to guess it. Like, Captain America, like all the original three, like Thor, Cap, and Iron Man were, like, stuff I grew up with. So, like, you know, those guys, seeing those guys in this plot is so good. Oh, you guys are going to... And it's not what you think. You, like, your predictions are wrong. Like, trust, mine were wrong. Yeah. All right, start... No spoilers. Trust me, there's not going to be any spoilers. What I thought was going to happen, so it did not happen. I know. No spoilers. Spoilers are bannable. If anybody... Lady Turin, the MVP. Yeah. I know. It's not, King. Trust me, it's not. It's not what you think. You guys are going to be good. All right, now let's jump back to the lobby. And we got to get the blocker up. Steven Seagal coming in with the rescue there at the last second. And yes, if anybody does drop spoilers in here, then...
You'll have to answer to me.
Well, if the mods could clean that up, that would be helpful. Yeah, it's like, there's so many curveballs. There's so many curveballs. Yeah, you just wait. There's so many curveballs. Like, yeah. Yeah, Batman dies. Yeah, there's things that caught me off guard so bad. I want to talk with you guys about it, but I know a lot of you guys haven't seen it, so I guess it'll have to wait. All right, guys, here we go. I would be like the most haggard character in the MCU. I don't care. I do not care. Just give me a character. You can make me like... I'll be Rocket Raccoon. I don't give a shit. I would just love to be involved in that project. Even though now I probably wouldn't want to, you know, as much. Like, I would have liked to have been more involved with, like, the early Phase 1 movies. That was, like, the real, like... Winter Soldier was probably one of my favorite ones, yeah. Winter Soldier was so good. Oh, that's Steven Seagal. Bit of a meme here. All right, so let's go ahead and get rid of Steven. And yeah, players are going to be loading in. This is a game match 2 between the two clans, between Clan VM and Clan DDG. And it's currently tied up 1-1. Yes, for anyone who is going to be going to see Endgame, make sure to use the bathroom beforehand. Don't drink a lot of water. Stay dehydrated, or else you're gonna miss things. It's very, very long. It's like 3 hours.
Go to P when you see Captain Marvel. You're not gonna lose anything.
Yes. And here we are, guys. It is time. It is go time. So we have Von Karstein, who's going to be playing the Warriors of Chaos. So, you know, playing into a very, very tough matchup here against the Vampire Counts. Typically, you would see Vampire Counts banned if somebody were picking the Warriors of Chaos, for example. But we are going to see Archeon, the Ever-Chosen. So trying to win the hearts of the people as well as this match. But again, he's not a terrible pick. He does fire damage. He has great AP. He's actually a pretty good duelist against Vampire Lords. He does have Burning Skull, Flaming Sword, Ruin, and Fireball. The Crown of Domination is also very, very good here. A huge radius of effect, and anybody who's in this radius is going to be getting immune to Psych, which is super solid against Vampire Counts. It will allow your infantry to fight for quite some time. So yeah, it's a great pick. We do also have 2 Dragon Ogre Shaggy, so he is going to be trying to go Fisticuffs here. I personally think Kolek is probably the best choice, but nonetheless, I mean, you're still getting 2 Shaggies plus your caster all in one kit. However, Archeon, if the Vampire Counts do go with Manfred and Spirit Leech and Breath Attacks, can be sniped very quickly, but he's pretty meaty up on his horse. He does have 5,200 HP, so yeah, it's pretty good stuff. In the front line here, we do have Chaos Marauders, we have Aspiring Champions, and we do also have the Demon Spew. So the Demon Spew are very good for grindy infantry fights because they do have this AoE, which lowers melee attack by 5. The Swarm of Flies, a bit of a precursor to Nurgle units, which is quite cool. In the back, we do have Marauder Horsemasters. So the Horsemasters are going to be, just poking the big targets. Very, very good against Mortis Engines, much better than Throwing Axes. They have a better arc of fire, better range, and I think this is an incredibly solid pick. In the back, Mirror Guard, and that's pretty much it. So yeah, pretty standard stuff. He definitely is going to want to play a little bit of a high and tight game. It's going to be tough nonetheless, though. So here we do have let's see, zombies in the front line. In the secondary line, we do also have the Graveguard and Graveguard and Graveguard. We got a Vargulf, we got a Mortis Engine, and we got Manfred and 2 Terrorgeist up in the skies. So I'm not sure if these 2 clans agree to play under King's Cup rules. We'll have to actually double check. Lady Turin is from Poland. Yeah. So we'll have to check and see if the 2 clans are playing King's Cup rules, because this would actually technically be a rules break if they are, because he does have 4 single entities. He's got the 2 big boys. He's got a Mortis Engine and a Vargulf. You could have like these 2, but you would have to cut like either the Vargulf or the Terrorgeist or something. So I'll double check with the clan leaders after the game. But if the clan leaders are in chat, if you guys could check in with your players and make sure. But if they're just playing ladder rules, then that's fine. Like this is okay. So yeah, we're gonna see how it goes. Von Karstein certainly has an uphill battle. I think it's a very, very tough matchup, but you know, Archaon can kill these things very quickly. If Archaon's able to get his paws onto the Vargulf or any of the monsters, he can cut them to pieces, especially if he does have the Slayer of Kings. So Archaon on horseback is pretty good, though. He's a little bit meatier. He can get where he needs to go, but again, he's also a bigger target, so you know, we'll see how it goes. Start. So yeah, technically, if you were playing in like one of the mainstream tournaments, like one of Shetland's tournaments, or like, you know, Everchosen, for example, this would actually be a rules break because he has 4 single entities and you're limited to 3. So it's a little bit, it's hard to say, but again, not every tournament plays like that, so I'm not sure what these 2 clans agreed on. So just know that I'm not dealing with the rules and everything. So yeah, but I'm not sure if they are following the King's Cup rules. They could just be doing like ladder rules or something like that, but we'll double check with the players afterwards. So yeah. Yes. Oh yeah, Endgame was really fun. You guys, just go see it. Go see it. So then in the next couple weeks, once everybody's seen it, we can all talk about it. It was so good. Oh god, I loved it. All right, so Fireball's going to be coming in, probably going to be shooting up in the sky, and it's actually going after the Mortis Engine, which is a bit of an easier target, I suppose. It looks like it kind of clipped the Mortis Engine, but it seems like it missed at the last second, so unfortunately the Fireball not coming in doing the good work there. It does actually kill a couple Fellbats, which is nice. So he does need to clean up the Fellbats, for sure. Just kind of keep them off the missile units, and that'll free up his pressure on the Mortis Engine. But yeah, that's basically pretty standard stuff. So I guess he could actually focus down this Terrorgeist. Marauder Horsemasters, even though they don't have like as good of AP, still do a ton of damage. They have 37 missile damage, and their AP values aren't terrible. And yeah, here come more missile attacks going after the Fellbats. Going to have to wear those guys down. And the Chaos Forces might want to stay a little bit higher and tighter. Another Fireball is going to be going downtown to pick off the Mortis Engine. It's trying to juke, but that Fireball does make some pretty good contact. So far, Archaon getting some pretty good value, and the Undead are going to be arranging their forces here. So Lords on horseback don't count as single entities, but if you were on, like, let's say, if Archaon could ride a Shaggoth, for example, it would count as that. But like horse mounts don't count towards that single entity limit typically. But every tournament's different. Like, some people don't follow those same rules. So I don't know if these 2 clans agreed on something else, but typically we do play King's Cup for clan wars and things like that. So anyways, the breath attack is going to be coming down right here, going after the Mirror Guard. Very, very good breath attack coming in from Hairgas, doing some solid work. And the Fellbats are going to be swooping in on Horsemasters. But Fellbats are being picked apart. They're taking some work. But, I mean, still Von Karstein here has some pretty good tools. He does, of course, have Archaon plus the 2 Shaggoths. Shaggoths head-to-head in a straight, like, fisticuffs fight will actually be able to do some really good damage against the Terrorgeist. But the Terrorgeist have the advantage of mobility and the breath attacks and everything, so one group of Fellbats is almost dead. The Chaos Forces need to get a little bit tighter, though. They need to be fighting in the Crown of Domination, or else they're just going to get terror-routed, which is going to be a little bit tricky. Yeah, and the Mortis Engine does heal itself, of course. So the first Shaggoth is going to be rushing in to meet this Vargulf right here. Archaon is waiting in the shadows a little bit. And the Fellbats are just being kited and kind of picked apart. Horsemasters are very, very good in this matchup. I think they're incredibly solid. So Archaon, coming in with the big old Slayer of Kings. And this Vargulf is like almost dead already. Not almost dead, but he's getting just the whooping. So this other Dragon Ogre Shaggoth is going to be going after the Vargulf right there. And I mean, okay, so we were talking about overkill of single entities. One of them is almost already dead. So maybe Von Karstein doesn't care. He's like, you can break the rules against me. I'm coming in with a burning skull, coming right down this formation here. Beautiful stuff. And yeah, it was outstanding. Outstanding stuff. Chaos Marauder's going to be fighting here. And over in the back, you can see the Marauder Horsemasters who are just kind of chewing on these guys. And man, this is just so good. Now, the Terrorgeist are going to be swooping in, trying to get a 2-for-1 here on the Dragon Ogre Shaggoth. Vargulf is going to be swooping in as well, but the other Terrorgeist, or other Dragon Ogre Shaggoth is going to be jumping in to help out. And man, we got a fight on our hands. The Demon Spear are also here. They're going to be lowering the melee attack of all nearby troops. Flaming Sword is going to be going in. And Archaon is also going to be attacking in the back, getting a nice little attack here on Manfred. But that Dragon Ogre Shaggoth does actually take quite a bit of damage. And as far as the infantry fight goes, Chaos is doing okay. Aspiring Champions are holding. The Marauder Horsemasters have almost cleaned up the Fellbats. It looks like these ones are in good shape. The Fellbats, He needs to focus down those Fellbats with the Horsemasters, just kind of charge him and finish him off real quick. But it looks like he is going to be going after the Mortis Engine now, which is pretty solid. Chaos Infantry will not hold up against a Mortis Engine and everything, so, yeah. Yeah, man. Here we go. Dragon Ogre Shagus trying to get on that Mortis Engine. The Mortis Engine does have the jukes, but the Horsemasters are swooping in. Going to be using their mass to kind of pin this in, which is a very good choice. Von Karstein coming in. They probably will get terror out of it, but at the very least, they are holding this thing in place. Now, Chaos still has Aspiring Champions. The Mirror Guard are holding pretty firm. Chaos Marauders doing their thing, but it seems like, you know, the Marauder Horsemasters might be able to pick off the Mortis Engine here. I mean, if Archaon and the Shagus can pick off the Mortis Engine, I think they'll be in good shape. Archaon's probably going to be able to kill it right now, or at least get it very, very low. He does fire damage, plus he's like just hits like an absolute truck. But yeah, the Dragon Ogre Shag is kind of getting isolated a little bit, but the Horsemasters are back online now, so they need to start going after the Vargulf, I think, or at least finish off this Mortis Engine. Yeah, they're going to be going after the Mortis Engine, because having Archaon plus the Shaggoth chase that thing just nonstop isn't going to be cost effective. Like, Archaon, they need to be, like, fighting together, because otherwise the Vampires will use their mobility and just, like, you know, bully these Dragon Ogres, right? Flaming Sword is going to be going down as well, and it looks like the Mortis Engine is crumbling pretty bad, negative 38 leadership. But there's no infantry left, really, for the Vampire, or for the Warriors of Chaos, which is a little bit tricky. I don't know, hard to say. Hard to say. I think that Vampires are in a pretty good state right now, though. They're able to kind of, you know, pick apart the Dragon Ogres, who are getting a little bit separated. So finally, the Mortis Engine does fall, which is going to be quite nice. Now, if this Dragon Ogre can unite with Archaon plus the other Dragon Ogre and start, like, actually winning some of these fights versus the Vampire monsters, that could really change the dynamic of the game. But Chaos doesn't have too many infantry left, so these Graveguard are going to be a real kind of thick, meaty presence to get rid of here. But, man, losing the Shaggoth here is going to be really painful. You can see Von Karstein is trying to maneuver away here. Archaon is going to be coming in with a nice little attack, but that's why Kolek is so much better, because he's like able to push through the appropriate targets. But I mean, Archaon's fireballs are pretty useful against the Mortis Engine, so there is an argument to be made for that for sure. So here we go. So the Archaon fighting in the pits, going after the Vargulf. If Archaon can start to pick apart the Vargulf, maybe. The other Dragon Ogre has come in, and you can see Manfred's actually getting a little bit low from some of this missile fire. Master of the Black Arts has been popped, and this Invocation is going to be so gross here. Ugh, God, it hits everything. It's so nasty. And is the other Dragon Ogre Shaggoth dead, or did he just break off? Let's go ahead and look. So he's pretty much dead. He has 262 HP, so pretty much like a gust of wind will kill him at this point. This Dragon Ogre Shaggoth is going to be pulling back here. You can see that Archaon is, you know, he's shooting a fireball, it looks like. The fireball does hit Manfred in the face. But there's just, like, too many Vampires left here. I don't know if there's going to be enough. I don't know if there's going to be enough. Maybe if he can kill Manfred, he'll be able to grind out a fight. Manfred takes a huge blow to the dome. Archaon coming in pissed off with the Slayer of Kings. If they could kill Manfred, maybe. But I don't think, you know, Haragaz is going to let that happen. So the Marauder Horsemen here going to be charging back in. Graveguard going to be intercepting. I mean, look at this meat. There's just so many Vampires here. Granted, most of these zombie summons will be disappearing relatively shortly, but the bounce power with Spirit Leech is just too good against Shaggus. I mean, it is such a disadvantage to be at. I mean, Chaos has such a hard time versus Vampires. I really think the best way to do it is to spam Elite Chosen with Halberds, and then, or, you know, Chosen with Great Weapons even, and then just use Dragon Ogres, Kolek, and like a Deathcaster or something. But you do have to have the double single entity or the triple to really fight this. Anyways, Manfred's up in this guy. Archaon is going to be pulling back here. And we'll check in with everyone after this to make sure that, you know, they are just playing ladder rules or some other tournament format, because typically that is too many single entities. So it would be a rules break. And we'll see what the clan leaders want to do. It's up to them. I'm just casting these tournaments. I'm not going to be regulating and enforcing rules. In my tournaments like ECL and stuff like that, I will. But here I'm just, you know, just serving as a caster for this series. So Archaon going to be coming in, getting surrounded, and that is going to be all she wrote. Manfred, the Ever-Chosen. Yeah. I mean, Von Karstein tried his best, for sure. It's just such a hard matchup. The one thing I would question about his build is bringing Marauders and cheap infantry. It's just, you got to bring like more elite stuff, I think. Chosen are really good here, actually, but I don't know. I love the Marauder Horsemaster play. He did pretty good with the Shaggus and the Fireballs, was able to pick off the Mortis Engine and things like that. So yeah. That is going to be, for now. Let's actually go back to the caster's desk and we'll check in here. So 1 second here. 1 second. So I'm just checking in with the clan leaders real quick, guys. Doing. Just checking in with the boys real quick here. I'm just seeing how they want to handle it. Because it's up to them. It's their clan war, so. Boil him, spoiler, stick him in a stew.
I'm watching.
Anna's watching. Lady Turin is just coming in with the clubs. Time is tight. Alright, so let's see here. Okay, so we're going to play the next game. All right, so we're going to see what they decide on. But it looks like the clan leaders are going to just say that that game doesn't count. And we're just going to play one more between these two. Let's do as far as the map.
Yeah, look at the bicep on the camera.
All right. All right, so yeah, so we're gonna call that one basically no. The clans decided to call it like a no contest. So basically it's just gonna nobody gets it. You know, they don't get a win. That'll count as the first game, just since we're on a bit of a time constraint. But yeah, so that doesn't count that win. Cool. Players are all happy. They're good, and they're moving on to the next game. Yeah, I mean, you could give it a loss, but it's kind of like it's in the spirit of good sportsmanship. I think it's a little bit better just to move on. Yeah. Yeah, I am going to continue my Clan Squire campaign. Yes, for sure. I'll probably be streaming it this week, actually. So I'm going to go get some water real quick, guys, while the players pick their armies and start when ready. So we got Bretonnia versus Norska, which I think is very hard for Bretonnia.
Husband, did you eat today?
Yes, I had some egg rolls. All right, guys, I'm going to go grab some water while they pick, and we're good to go. BRB. All right, guys, and we're back. Players are still picking their armies. Thanks, baby. All right. Lovely Lady Turin coming in with the hydration save. Yeah, I'm really excited for next week, too. Starting the Eternal Challenger League is going to be so goddamn fun. I've been, like, fiending to start that. So we're going to be, like, we're going to be doing graphics and all kinds of fun stuff, coming up with a cool prize for the winner. Of course, there will be a cash prize for the winner of the league, but also maybe Lady Turn and I will come up with some sort of a cool aesthetic or a journal or something for the winner.
Oh, I could make a journal.
Yeah, see? She'll make a journal. So the winner can, like, maybe get a commission journal of some sort.
Yeah.
See? Exciting stuff going on here, guys. Yeah, you know, I'm surprised that he would pick Bretonnia into Norska. That is like, actually, I don't know the direction it went, but I think actually Norska was a counterpick to Bretonnia because they're doing picks and bans. So, yeah. So, Demi G. Norska will win against the infantry of Bretonnia. Pretty heavily, typically. Marauders are very cost-effective against all tiers of men-at-arms, number one. And number two, Bretonnia obviously is very reliant on heavy cav, and Norska has like one of the best anti-heavy cav units in the game in Fimir. Fimir with great weapons will club the Norska, they'll club the Bretonian infantry, and they will club the horsemen. So if you play a very like high and tight build with like Fimir with great weapons and like a couple, you could even mix in ice trolls to get a little bit of frostbite in there. It's like super hard for the Bretonians to win. Now there are some very off-meta Bretonian builds that can actually do well, like mass infantry, just with like bodies and peasant archers and like halberds and a couple cav units, like not going too heavy in the cav, I think is the direction to kind of go there. Yeah. Oh man, you guys, if you guys haven't seen Lady Turn's the journals she's doing right now, they're really, really cool. I could show you one, but it'll get green screened out.
Just direct them to your community.
Yeah. If you guys want, go to the community section, and we've been sharing a couple, but I think we'll make one of those for the winner of the Eternal Challenger League, on top of the prize money, which hopefully this season will be better. Last season, it was like, I wasn't as prepared when the finals came around. I had a lot of stuff going on IRL, but this season, it's going to be like, I'm going to try and have like actually like sponsors and like bigger sponsors and stuff.
Don't you take from my hairdresser part of money?
Yeah. So there is Doom players. I mean, typically in King's Cup rules, there's a limit on like you can only have a certain amount of like you can't have more than like 6 of the same infantry unit and things like that. So I think Doom players do have some sort of a limit. I haven't refreshed myself on that aspect of the rules, but I think, yeah, Fimir with great weapons are just like such an like a Swiss Army knife answer against Bretonnia. It's really tough for them. It's really tough. Now Bretonnia can kill them. I mean, anti-large troops isolating Fimir. Fimir have really bad leadership. So if there's like really good King Lewin play, like getting good rear charges and stuff, it can be pretty punishing for sure. No, I'm not going to be moving to Poland. I was actually there for 3 months or 2.5 months. Anna and I were there together. It was a lot of fun. All right, so for the army of von Karstein. So again, the series is tied up. The last game was a disqualification, so both clans decided to just have it be a no contest. In the front line here, we got Marauders. We got a couple spears on the flanks, which are going to be backed up by Fimir. Just so hard to beat. On top of that, he's got the Beasts of Tashnar, the Miststalkers here, which are also good against cav units, but also stock, just very, very strong. 2 javelins in the back. And on top of that, we do have Wulfric the Wanderer on his giant-ass mammoth here, just ready to rock. He's just going to be sitting there. And like, if I was, a legendary lord, this would be the way to do it. Just sit on top of a powerful war beast and let it do all the heavy lifting. On top of that, we have a caster down here on the ground. A little bit of lag. Hopefully it'll stabilize here in a second. And come on, push through the lag, boys. Looks like it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and okay. So 1 player dropped. We'll just have him restart with the same army. Steam has been having a lot of issues today, so yeah, it's unfortunate. He'll be back. Same armies. And let's go ahead and get the screen blocker up again. I mean, they basically know each other's armies now. He dropped. So yeah, we'll go until 3 o'clock, which is another 2 hours another hour and 45 minutes, or let's see, how long do we have until that? An hour and 45 minutes, yeah, until I have to go. Steam has just been a real piece of shit lately. Like we had it crashing on like the first day of like Everchosen. God, that was so obnoxious. So obnoxious. So yeah, players are going to be coming back now. return. And yeah, he'll be firing up the game again. Albrat Warpstein. Dude, you don't have to do anything, man. I'll do that for you, Knight. So the I don't know, like the Wookiee hider, I had it on. I was cleaning up my desktop the other day, so I think I like put it in a folder somewhere and I couldn't find it, so I just grabbed Steven Seagal real quick. Yeah. Hey, Sir Earl Grey. Sir Earl Grey, good game the other day. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. He says my lobby is still there and my account counts. Restart game. I've never been to Turin, Italy. No, I haven't. I am of Italian descent, partially. I'm Italian and Irish mostly. Probably have some Germanic blood in there somewhere. Most, a lot of Americans are a bit of a mix of things, but my last name is very, very Italian. Italian Spartacus and I both have like super Italian last names. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Steven Seagal is a Russian citizen. I did not know that. I know he like did martial art tours over there with his bullshido, but well, Wookiee's in the living room right now. He's just doing his thing. Yeah, Steam's having some really bad issues. So Von Karstein's back. Same armies and start. And again, for anyone who wants to watch this after the fact, I will have timestamps to all of the battles and everything. So no stress there, brothers. So the player's picking up their armies again, and we're going to get started. Spartacus is his last name. Yeah, Steven Seagal is a bit of a bullshit artist for sure, in my opinion. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Steven Seagal's 90 movies, like Under Siege and just like, Above the Law and like all those Haggard. Like, I love those movies. Like, I love 80s and 90s action movies like Van Damme, Stallone. I even watched Chuck Norris movies. Like, a lot of people like pretend to be fans of Chuck Norris, but they don't actually watch his old movies. But I've watched like his haggardest movies. Yeah. Oh yeah. Like the whole Missing in Action series with Chuck Norris is so good. Walker, Texas Ranger was amazing. Chuck Norris actually, he actually has a movie that's like a direct ripoff of Karate Kid 2. Yeah. Like Chuck Norris has his own like Karate Kid movie. It's so great. But he's like a mystical mentor. It's so good. Blocker. Well, Steven Seagal, yes, is a master of Aikido, and I'm sure there's going to be some people in chat who disagree with me, but I've done martial arts for maybe off and on since I was like 17, and I'm not like proficient or great. I'm only like a white belt in jiu-jitsu. I had to stop because of my hand problems, but I did boxing for many years as well. And like Aikido just kind of seems like bullshit to me. Most MMA fighters, it's not practical. It's yeah. How don't you dare talk bad about Walker, Texas Ranger. You take that back. You take that back.
You take that back or I'll come in.
Yeah, that's right. Walker, Texas Ranger is the greatest thing ever. And there's actually a really funny story about Steven Seagal. He actually got, he was on the set of a movie, right? And apparently he can be a bit of like a bully, right? So there was a gentleman on the set who goes by the name of, for anyone who doesn't know who this is, just look up Gene LaBelle. Gene, Gene LaBelle. I'm not quite sure how to spell his last name, but Gene LaBelle is like one of the founding fathers of like American, I believe it was judo. And judo is pretty legitimate for sure. Like judoka is like, there's a lot of like practical stuff in that. I believe he was a judoka or had some judo experience. Judo Gene LaBelle, yeah, that was his name. And apparently Steven Seagal was like, oh yeah, you can't choke me out, or like you can't like something. So eventually him and Gene LaBelle like on the set had a bit of a scrap of some sort. Like they were like wrestling around, and Gene ended up getting behind Steven Seagal and choking him unconscious. And apparently Steven Seagal actually shat his pants when he was unconscious, like just there being choked out by Gene LaBelle. And like there was like a huge thing where like Steven Seagal made him sign all this paperwork, like that he couldn't talk about it and like all this other stuff because his just Aikido was so useless against a real martial artist, which was so funny. Yeah, Judo Gene LaBelle. So it's hilarious. Chuck Norris was a legitimate martial artist for sure. Um, he was like a world karate competitor. I'm pretty sure he competed. And karate has like, if you mix like some of the tenets of karate with like MMA, it can actually be viable. There's a couple really good, like what's his name, Lyoto Machida is a MMA fighter who has a background in like point karate, and he's incredibly solid. And then there's also another gentleman named what's his name? He just lost, but he was really good. Stephen Thompson. Like a lot of the kicks and striking and the dashing in and out can actually be quite viable. Yeah. So yeah, look up if you guys Google Gene Lavelle and Steven Seagal, it'll all come up. You guys will find out. You can read the story yourselves. All right, so now for the build of von Karstein. Like you said, frontline of Marauders. He does, of course, have the Wolfric the Wanderer, the Fimir. We saw this before the crash, but for anyone who's just joining back in, yeah, it's pretty much a standard anti-Bretonnian build. A lot of anti-cav with the Fimir. He does have the Miststalkers, a couple Javelins as well to deal with flying threats. It is a very solid army, and it's going to be tough for Bretonnia to take this one down. For the forces of Bretonnia, we got King Lewin, a bunch of peasant archers, which I really like. I think they are very solid, and even though they're not great against armor, just through volume of fire, they can actually do some good work. So start, and yeah, so I'll let them know they can start. So the peasant bowmen are very good against lightly armored infantry. They can kill Marauder hunters with javelins, and Wolfric only has 70 armor on his mammoth, which isn't a ton, so they can actually wear him down. So very, very good pick here, and I honestly think the way to beat Norska with the Bretonnians is just through bodies. Throw hordes at them to just do work, and yeah, so... Yes, this is it. So we got foot squires in the secondary line. We got halberds in the back, which is an incredibly solid pick. A Grail relique here, and Damsel with Lore of Life, and some Knights of the Realm, and it looks like Mounted Yeomen. So this is a great army. This is like just what I think you would need to beat Norska. Granted, the Norska army is going to be good against this as well. The front line probably going to get bullied pretty heavily, but hopefully we don't have another crash. It could just be a bit of an issue for sure. Yeah. Yeah, oh no. Oh no, don't disconnect. We'll find out here in a second. Looks like the battle started. Steam is apparently all over like Europe right now. Steam is having some pretty serious issues, and it looks like he dropped again. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Let's see. All right, so we might have to move on to the next game. Let's move on to next game. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. Nothing you can do when Steam's being a piece of shit. Yeah, fucking Steam. It's a shame, too. I really wanted to see him play. So, Zach, let's do it this week, man. All right, so... All right, so we'll try and go to the next round here. See if that works. Maybe we get some more games going at least. Okay, so... Okay, hold on a sec. I actually have an idea, so... Actually... von Karstein, play him right now and send me replay. Great, so we're in the next one, which is going to be Energized versus Soter. We're still 1-1 here. All right, we're moving on to the next game. And what we're going to do with von Karstein and his opponent is we're going to have them play each other, see if they can get the game in, like off stream, and then send me the replay, and we'll try and cast it on stream. So that works. Let's do the Eshin. We'll do Eshin since we were going to do that anyways. So sorry about this, guys. It's a damn shame. Dylon. Dude, I love that early skit. That was so funny. Falcon, you just trolling, man? Oh, man. Yeah, maybe we'll do a Who Would Win series with like we'll do a Who Would Win series using like the new characters, like Tic Tac Toe versus like Win or something. I don't know. Bullshito, yeah. I mean, most let's get an army blocker up to make sure the armies aren't compromised. So it looks like it's going to be Dark Elves versus Vampire Coast, which is good. They're going to be on Eschen. And yeah, we'll get into this next game. I know, Arthur. I know, man. You don't need to tell me. I'm feeling the pain. I'm the one who has to, you know, deal with it. You guys can come and go. But yeah. Damn shit. Steam. It's like a piece of shit sometimes. Goddamn. Yeah, I think as far as like mixed martial arts goes, though, if like most like really solid martial artists nowadays have like a background in wrestling. Yeah, like Habib Nurmagomedov, or I always mangle his last name. He's a wrestler. I mean, a lot of these guys like that are doing really well. Ben Askren. But wrestling, jiu-jitsu, and boxing, I think, are really like in West. Just striking. All right, like boxing is like if you're like looking at Golden Glove style boxing, it's like not as good for MMA because you rely on things like the Philly shell and like these things that like you don't have to respect the takedown at all. So striking in MMA is very different. But typical striking or traditional striking with jiu-jitsu and the hands are doing okay actually right now. Yeah, I mean I haven't had to do too much with the mouse so far, so it's not like super bad. Watch now, 3 hours of turn raging on stream. Yes. I know. Oh, I know. So we got Energize is going to pick Lizardman and ban Skaven, and we're going to see what Socher picks. And oh man, so we're gonna actually see if we can have the players just play their games down and send me the replays. It actually wouldn't be bad, and then I can just cast the replays real quick. It's a little bit hard to say what to do to fix dwarves. I think giving them something that has a slow, like honestly, if they had something like the Tormentor Sword back, I think that would help deal with a lot of threats, but that's kind of more of a band-aid fix than an overall fix. So it's going to be Wood Elves versus Dinosaurs. Interesting. Okay. All right, so Lizardmen are good to go. Looks like the Wood Elves are still doing some picks. And we're going to be jumping into our next game here. The Tormentor Axe. Yeah, like slows would be the most helpful thing for dwarves, like giving them some like battlefield control tools. I mean, Runes of Wrath and Ruin do slow, but I don't know, it's kind of like... Even still, dwarves have other issues. I mean, dwarves do have a lot of good matchups, but the bad matchups they have are really bad, for sure. Like dwarves dealing with like Chaos Beastmen, the Skaven now, it's just like so hard. It's so hard. It's like you're at such a disadvantage. This can be a tricky matchup for the dinosaurs, but again, they have some good tools now. Yeah, dwarves have it's hard to balance dwarves with like their bad matchups without making them dominate the other matchups. That's the real tricky thing. But yeah, some units with mass would be very helpful for sure. Like a dwarven roadblock team. They just have like they lay down like spike strips and stuff. I don't know. I actually am not sure who I would think would be the worst. And here we go. Hopefully they don't crash. If they do crash, then the pooch has been kind of screwed. All right, so... And it is showtime. So we're going to be on Eschen. Hopefully the map isn't the cause of the crash. right, and here we go. Steven Seagal, thank you for your blocking. Using your thickness and girth to block the army picks is always quite nice. Yes, that is Anna coughing. You guys are quite... You are able to hear that, huh?
I'm sorry, I will die more quiet.
Just build a square formation. Well, the dwarf new box, as funny as it is, I just don't think it's very good. There are a couple matchups in which the dwarf new box can be like a viable thing, but for the most part, it's just kind of a bit of a haggard strategy, in my opinion. So we're finally getting around. Riverbank, thank you for the $2 the big 2 man vote fat chungus dwarves for high mass units. Oh my god, the stream is devolving into anarchy now. Yeah. Oh well, we're gonna be going for another hour and a half. So how much else we can get done? So what we're gonna do now is the players are all gonna be playing their battles right now against each other. And they're going to be sending me the replays, which hopefully, like, since they're just connecting with 2 people, it won't be as much of an issue and Steam will be less difficult. We're just kind of experimenting with ideas. So, yeah, Chaos Dwarves do have high mass units. If you look at the Chaos Dwarves roster from Fantasy as well as Age of Sigmar, they have like a lot of big threats for sure. So the players are loading in. It's almost time. Anna giving me the death glare. I love it. Yeah, they have monsters units, at least in tabletop. And you can actually play Chaos Dwarves in Age of Sigmar, even though it's not on the Games Workshop website. Forge World has their own Chaos Dwarf army, which is really cool, actually. So if you guys ever wanted to play like a neat army that still is like the same as it was in Fantasy, you kind of can. Come on. Let's get some more games in. Yeah, buddy. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So, Clan DDG. Coming in from Spain here with a massive Lizardmen army. So up in the skies here, or up the high ground, we do have an orange sherbet Salon. So it's going to be the high magic Salon. His eyes are glowing. He's looking pretty pissed off. He does, of course, have Tempest, Apotheosis, and Arcana and Forging, which is quite nice. Blood Statuette of Spite, and Shield of the Old One. So he's ready to party. We're going to see how he does. We also have his King Chief over here helping him out. And in the front line, it's just going to be all Saurus, which is honestly pretty cost-effective. They're really good against most Wood Elf infantry. And Dryads, Eternal Guard, even War Dancers have a tough matchup for Saurus because Saurus just like hit like trucks. Plus, with the new change to Rampage, they're actually much stronger in some respects because when they do Rampage, they get +8 melee attack and a charge bonus, so they get pretty grindy. So I really like this army so far from Energized. In the back, he's got a couple cohorts for some Javelin Overwatch support. The Legion of Chaqua here in the back, which is going to be giving that missile resist, so they are going to be able to help the Salon and make sure he doesn't get sniped as easily by giving him 44% missile resist, which is going to be quite good. On top of that, we got the King Chief here with Javelins, a Solar Engine here in the back, which is quite good against Wood Elves as well because it forces them inwards, and some Chameleons on the outside of the army. And now for Clan VM, representing is going to be Soder, Russia here. It's going to be the Glade Riders with Hagbane Tips. It's going to be 2 of those bad boys, and it's going to be a bunch of archers, so Way Watchers here, just going for that big dino sniping. He does also have a Glade Lord with the Brave Anathrama, so a very traditional Wood Elf build, looking to snipe out those big targets. He's got Eternal Guards here. He does also have the Spellslinger with Lord of Shadows, 4 Dryads in the back for his infantry, Wild Riders, and Eternal Guard. So the infantry fight definitely favors the dinosaurs. But again, the sniping, it's really going to come down to, can he snipe that Salon? If you can snipe the Salon and butter that bread, then he's going to be in good shape. If not, the Saurus will just run over the rest of his army. So start when ready. Here we go. I'm trying my best to like maintain good posture today. It's been going good. It's been going good, my friends. And the battle's underway. You can see here that the Saurus and company are going to be advancing here in just a moment, and the Chameleon Skinks are going to be pushing up to counter skirmish the Glade Riders with Hagbane Tips. Chameleons are very, very good against Wood Elves. They have a base of 40% missile resist, so that makes them quite durable against all this fire. And, you know, if they're chasing Way Watchers, they are like the perfect counter skirmishing tool against Way Watchers. But, you know, the Wood Elves do have some tools as well. They have Wild Riders and things to chase them down, so a little bit of back and forth here. But the missiles are, looks like they're going to be using their first volley here against Saurus with shields, which is not what he wants to be doing. That is not cost effective at all in terms of ammunition. And how much do they have? So it looks like they have 24 ammunition in total, or 23. So one of which was just used against Saurus for a couple of those groups. So now you can see he's going to be falling back and just getting ready to party. The Solar Engine also going to be blasting in and, you know, getting some damage in. I really like this army from Energized. It's going to be incredibly tough for the Wood Elves to deal with this amount of Saurus. That is like a lot of meaty, heavy infantry. And it's going to be pretty interesting to see what happens. Over here on the far side, the Wild Riders with shields are going to be swooping around the back, and you can also see that the Glade Riders with Hagbane tips are going to be shooting in against the little skink boys and some of the Saurus in the back, so the shields aren't going to help them as much. And the skink's actually poking down this Spellsinger, so you don't want that thing to be taking too much damage. Now, these Way Watchers going to be shooting into the Chameleons, and yes, it does good damage. That's because Way Watchers hit like trucks, but you're basically paying to shoot into missile resist units, right? So it's not going to be the best choice. He probably wants to just scoot forward and try and snipe the Slon, or maybe go after the Skink Chief or shoot some of the elites at the very least. I mean, these Saurus do not care about getting shot. Saurus have very, very good leadership. I mean, they are going to rampage, which means they could be picked apart. And maybe that's what Soder's doing. Maybe he's trying to rampage these guys so he can pick them off with the Wild Riders. But the Solar Engine blasting into the Wild Riders with shields there, certainly going pretty well. Now, from the Wood Elf perspective, we do have some pressure on the back. The Glade Riders with Hagbane tips are circling about, getting some decent sniping here onto the back units, and Apotheosis is going to be going down on the Saurus right there to heal them up. But the Way Watchers, I guess just, there's no other really targets, so you just got to shoot the Saurus. I mean, I would love to see the Salon get sniped. Of course, the Legion of Chaqua is going to be using their missile resist, so probably what I would do is get the Way Watchers to waste one volley on top of the Salon Mage to bait it out, and then I would switch targets onto the Solar Engine. But Energized is doing a really good job using these Chameleons in the front to kind of screen them out and like force them to not allowing them to get super close. In the back, you can see the Glade Riders are going to be shooting at this Solar Engine, but there's Apotheosis. It has 140 armor, and Glade Riders actually have terrible AP, so it's not going to be useful. And it seems like the Lizardmen are just slowly kind of grinding this game down. The ammo is just getting a little bit danger close here for the Way Watchers. So, yeah, I don't know. It's hard. Over here in the back, the Glade Riders with the Hagbane tips going to be shooting into the Bastillodon with the Solar Engine. And, you know, he's waddling his little heart out. He does have some skinks guarding him. Does have to watch out, though. I mean, these Wild Riders could actually swoop in and kill these guys and then actually pressure this and maybe even finish it off. I mean, Wild Riders aren't meant versus armor, but nonetheless, they're pretty strong. So charge coming in. Little skinks are going to get rode down. They, of course, don't have charge defense, so the Wild Riders are going to be able to butter those guys up pretty good. And the Wild Riders going to easily just clean those guys up, clean their clocks. Way Watchers are running out of ammo. They're at about half, a little bit less than half on some of them, and the Wild Riders coming in for another nice charge here, so finally they're going to be getting some good value against these very squishy skinks. And immediately 12, 15, 20 skinks die in the charge. So in the back, the Javelins are going to be going in to help out. The Bastillodon is a little bit surrounded, so he's probably going to want to move that Salon plus the Legion of Chaqua back here to maybe protect those guys, because you need that Solar Engine. It's actually has been a very useful tool. So Melkos did go down, or actually Blood Statue of Despite, not Melkos, and it was able to tag those Wild Riders. They actually took a ton of damage from the Skinks in that Overwatch fire. And the Wood Elves are actually a little bit ahead on the bounce of power, which I find interesting because it seems like the dinos are still pretty healthy and ammunition is a little bit of an issue. And also the Spellsinger with Lord of Shadows stays in the fight for a little bit too long here for Soder and does get beat up by these Saurus. Yeah, look at that. I mean, the caster for the Wood Elves just gets his brakes beaten off him. And he's a Shadow caster. There's no healing here for the Wood Elf. So what you see is what you get, Bob. In the back, the Bastillodon with the Solar Engine's in pretty good shape. He's still just shooting and providing that nice Overwatch fire against these Wood Elf skirmishers. If there is a niche matchup for Solar Engines in which they are better than Salamanders, I think it's going to be the Wood Elf matchup. They are very, very good here. Granted, you know, an Ancient Salamander wouldn't be bad. They have 190 range. They can actually trade somewhat effectively with some of the Wood Elf archer units. But now the Saurus are getting into the trees. The Dryads are fighting in their natural habitat, which is the tree line. But I don't know how much that's going to help them against these very heavy-duty Saurus. But it looks like it's actually helping. And some of the Saurus were quite buttered up. These Dryads are going to be fighting here. Balance of power is very, very even. Saurus with spears are going to be engaging Eternal Guard and obviously winning that matchup pretty handily. And the Way Watchers are just shooting into the Chameleons, just trying to kill whatever they can at this point. Now, with a little bit of good micro here from Soder, he might be able to actually... The Saurus engaged really far ahead of their support, so they might actually be able to, you know, get some really good rear charges with these Wild Riders and generate some good value. But the caster being gone, or at least that beat up, it's going to be tricky. I mean, any damage, and Arcane and Forging could put this guy in a trash can, so... The Lizardmen are starting to get picked apart a little bit. Very, very good insight here from Aerocrastic and chat. I mean, they are just overextended, and, you know, the rear charge is coming in. Fighting in the forest is, you know, going to be a little bit helpful for the Wood Elves. And it looks like the Banana Salon, oh, man. The Lizardmen did pull ahead in the bounce of power, but a single mistake here. The Legion of Chaqua, look at that. Shield of the Old Ones going down. He needs to get the Legion in there and pop that buff to save the Salon. The Banana is just getting, or the orange, is it an orange sherbet? Yeah, orange sherbet. The orange sherbet is just getting made into ice cream right now. So the shield is going down. So right now he has a massive amount of resist. If you go ahead and take a look, it's 22 plus 44 on top of the missile. So 84 missile resistance. So he's going to be taking like no damage. And now it's going to be a little bit, you know, it's going to be 60, 70% missile resist. The Solar Engine's still shooting in. And the dinos are still in okay shape. The Banana Salon, I mean, he got a little bit, you know, kind of lulled into a false sense of comfort here. So very good stuff here from Soder coming back. I really thought he was in some serious trouble letting his caster take that type of damage, but it looks like the Orange Sherbet, he needs to fall back. He's in some trouble. Arcane and Forging is going to be going down in the Glade Lord, which is going to be doing substantial damage. The Bastillodon is still in good shape as well. And the Legion is, where's the Legion? The Legion is, I think, caught up in combat somewhere. Yeah, they're going to be fighting right here. So the Legion needs to, like, kind of protect these guys. But, yeah, the bounce of power is actually still in the favor of the dinosaurs, believe it or not. Some of the skink cohorts in the back going after Way Watchers. And the reason why the bounce of power is going in the favor of dinosaurs is, for anyone who's new to the game, the bounce of power is actually heavily affected by ammunition. So when things start to run out of ammo, especially expensive missile units, it does affect the bounce of power, of course, in the favor of your opponent there. So the Solar Engine's going to be blasting downtown against the Glade Rider with the Hagbane Tips, doing some solid work. And the Orange Swan is, he's rolling dirty. And I guess the Way Watchers are out of ammo, so he's going to be relatively safe now. The Dryads still have a couple decent cores. And the Glade Rider, or the Glade Lord, is actually really beat up as well. So I think the Lizardmen are actually going to take this. The Legion is in good shape. The Saurus Spears are in good shape. The ammunition is not going to be able to polish off this Orange Sherbert Salon. Energize did a good job reacting. He still has a full health Bastillodon, which will be super useful against the Dryads and the other infantry units that are remaining for the Wood Elves. And yeah, it's a really, really good fight between these two players here. Up on the high ground, we do have these Saurus Spears who are just going to be fighting these Eternal Guard. And they'll be able to win that. They're just beast mode. I mean, Melkos does go down to kind of butter them up. There's only 800 HP left on these guys. And yeah, we have the little Skink Chief. He's going to be kiting these guys. Skink Chief, of course, isn't a pushover in combat either. He does have 300 plus weapon strength. And the Chameleons are just going to be, surviving that missile resist, coming in clutch here, doing a huge amount of work. And the Dryads are going to be getting Last Samurai as they do charge in. I mean, they might be able to catch these guys, but there's still a ton of Saurus coming back. And I just don't know what the Wood Elves are going to be able to do with the ammo. I mean, it seems like Soder is kind of trying to save up his last couple volleys here to butter up that Salon. But the shield with the old one's going down, and it looks like there's going to be another volley. Energized, if he's watching and paying close attention, he might be able to time it with a volley to mitigate that damage, which would be really nice. But the Wood Elves are just looking a little raggedy. Looking a little bit raggedy here, Bob. And the last volley's coming in. Legion of Chaqua, are they going to be popping their buff? It might be on cooldown still. It does have a somewhat long cooldown, if memory serves. But a banishment going down from the Sherbert Salon here in the forest. Going to be rolling all over these Way Watchers, and those guys are going to be having a pretty bad time. It's going to be tough. But, Soder's doing a really good job just being scrappy. He's getting over here and just with the Wild Riders and chasing down the remnants of these troops, getting value wherever he can. But, I mean, the Legion is just so strong. I mean, the Shield of Chaqua has gone down here. It looks like it was able to prevent some damage. But the Way Watchers, 100% out of ammo. They have one volley here. These ones have 4 volleys. That's not going to be enough. And the Skink, little Skink hero that could, is going to be going after the Glade Lord with his little dart gun. And is he going to get it off? And he's going to get punted, which is okay. But, the Bastillodon's here. Sherbert Daddy's coming down the hill. And the Skink's just going to pop back up pretty quick here and get knocked over again. But nonetheless, eventually he's going to get one of those darts off. And when those darts stick home, it's going to be very tough for our boy here. So the Bastillodon does get in there, gets a nice little ramrod on the Glade Lord. The Skink is going to be charging with his dart gun. And is he going to shoot it? Come on, shoot it, buddy. What are you waiting for? He's waiting for that perfect shot. It's like in the movie, like waiting for the whites of their eyes, right? So the Banana Salon is back. Apotheosis or the Sherbert Salon, I always get them confused. Blood Statue of Spite is going to be getting popped on the Dryads right here. And it looks like the Glade Lord is broken. The Skink is going to be going for the last heroic shot. It's probably not going to finish it off. The missile damage is pretty good, but oh, here comes the dart! Here comes the dart, and it looks like it is a swing and a miss. But, that is really going to break the Wood Elf Lord. And with that, DDG is going to take... Finally, we have another game here. Is going to be taking the game. That was really good. That was a great game. Great game by both players. Man, that was a solid one. So that little Skink hero that could, the Skink Chief, doing a great job. Soder played a great game. He was very much expecting big dinosaurs. He was probably expecting salamanders and things like that, but Energized went with a super wide force, classic old school style play against Wood Elves and was able to take the game. So well played. These guys clearly very evenly matched. So next one, we're going to go to, we will go to the Iron Sand Desert. Iron Sand Desert. And let's update the scoreboard. And now we're back. Clan DDG climbing on that scoreboard. Let's get Steven Seagal blocking the armies here while they decide. And I'm going to check in Clan Wars. And we're going to check in with Von Karstein as well and see what's happening. And cool. So we're going to be on the Iron Sand Desert. Pick armies and start. We'll let them know it's go time. Now we're hanging out. So, Raw Cauliflower with the 25. Thank you, firstly, for the donation. After more than 2 years of watching your channel, I have to ask, what made you try out this game? Was it similarities to Warcraft 3 and characters with hero stereotypes? You know, the great question. The Total War franchise has been something that's been very close to me for a long time. I was a diehard Rome player, like original Rome and Shogun 2. Like, I went deep into those games, all the expansions, all that stuff. And I played multiplayer hardcore in Shogun as well as the original Rome. Now, when I was kind of like, you know, wanted to get back into Total War, but I wasn't excited by Rome 2. But when they announced that there was going to be a Total War game based in a fantasy universe, I had just a chub that would lift the heavens. Like, I was so excited because I love fantasy, like Warcraft 3, like I said, all that stuff. So I was like, oh my God, this is like the perfect combination of what I want. It's going to have actual diversity among factions. And Shogun 2 was great, but I like that there's so many different factions that you can identify with. It really gives you like a sense of identity. So when I saw that, I just couldn't help myself. And plus, I love the RTS element of Total War. And, you know, it's like, it was like the perfect combination of everything. So, yeah. So hopefully that answers your question. And thank you so much for the really generous donation and also sticking through on the stream today. I'm going to stream for as long as I possibly can. I do have a tournament I have to go to today for Warhammer Tabletop. But we were supposed to start at 11, which we would have been fine. But so we're pushing it. We're pushing it. I don't know. I've never had an inspiration to stream on Twitch really for some reason. Plus, my name is taken on Twitch by some like abandoned account, and Twitch support just won't respond to me. So I'm just like, I don't want to like change my name. I don't know. It's a bit of a convoluted thing. It was a great match actually. That last match was really good. Yeah. Yeah, it's really hard, for sure. But I love fantasy RTS. Like, that's my thing. That's my jam. That is my jam. All right, what's that, guys? Just checking in with the lads to see how things are going. Oh, I'll be good. Yeah, no, don't worry. I'm trying to maintain it. So it's going to be Tomb Kings for Energized, and it looks like Soter is going to be playing Bretonia and banning Chaos. So we have Tomb Kings versus Bretonia, I think. Wow. This should be interesting. And we're on the Iron Sand Desert, a pretty open field map, which means we're probably going to see Bone Giants and Ushapti Great Bows. But again, Bretonia, it's a small map, relatively speaking, so Bretonia will close the distance very quick. Now, this is another matchup that I think Bretonia is like... Bretonia is a risky pick. They have a lot of hard counters, I think. Yeah. Oh man, 40k tabletop's so fun. I play in what's called the ITC League, so a lot of you guys in Europe may not be familiar with that. But in the United States, the standard competitive format for Warhammer 40,000 is called ITC, and it makes Warhammer 40,000 so much better than like the standard chapter approved missions. So much better, God. So I play in a competitive league, and how it works in my league is there's 3 pods. There's a beginners, intermediate, and advanced. And it's an ongoing thing, so seasons are back-to-back. So being that I was new to the game, I started in the beginners pod, and you play 6 games in 6 weeks. You play 1 game a week. And the winner, the top 2 people in each pod advance to the next pod, and the top bottom go down to the lower pod, right? So I was in the beginners pod, but I got first place in the beginners pod. My Death Guard won. I won some store credit and advanced up to the next one, so now I'm in the intermediate pod, and currently I'm 2-0 in the intermediate pod. I've won both my games, so today is my third match. Yeah, and please do drop a like, guys. I know there's about 750 people in here. It does help out quite a bit from a business perspective if you guys drop a like. I know the stream's been a little bit finicky with Steam just being a piece of shit as usual, but, you know, it does help quite a bit. So I really do appreciate it if you guys drop a like. If we get up over 500, that would be pretty great. Lord of the Rings and Total War, I would like that, but I don't think it's going to happen because Warhammer kind of covers the fantasy niche. I mean, maybe way down the road, but, you know, once Warhammer 3 is like a relic. But yeah, I think we could see like Game of Thrones or like maybe, you know, a Warhammer 40k Total War or something. Who knows? Start when ready. So Energized is ready with his Tomb King's Force, looking pretty solid. Soter making some final picks here. And we're going to see currently DDG has come ahead. Aerocrastic says Steam is like the last airbender. When the world needs it most, it disappears. Oh my god, that's so good. Yeah, there's so yeah, I run a Death Guard army in tabletop. It's pretty strong. Riverbank, cat meat. What does that even mean, dude? Thank you for the donation. What? Oh my god, that's ridiculous. So yeah, I run Death Guard in tabletop, and they're pretty good. They have some weaknesses for sure. They have a lot of problems dealing with heavy armor because they you know, most of their like Plague Burst Crawlers are pretty terrible in terms. They're Plague Burst Crawlers are the best unit in the Codex, but if you use their anti-armor kit, they're not very good. But if you use them with their spitters, and they're pretty good battlefield control units. Brand's campaign line of sight is 9, that plus 1,000%. Marvel Total War? You'd have like, yeah, I don't know. There's choices. No, David, I think that the historical titles just need to step up their game. You know, if they want to compete with how popular Total War Warhammer is. Total War Warhammer is just a good game, and even outside of its general like context, it has good UI. The health bars are easy to read. The campaign is easy to understand. It's simple to understand actually, as far as Total War games go. You know, in my little experience playing, what's it called? In my little, I know Riverbank. In my experience playing like 3K, you know, I do like it. It's fun. I'm going to be playing campaigns. But the battles in Total War Warhammer are exponentially better. It's rich feeling. It's exciting, much more so. But the campaign is quite good for Three Kingdoms. I do really like the diplomacy and you know, the area you're fighting in, and like the Three Kingdoms. It has a lot of cool elements, but like they need to match the battles. Like, you know, have that grit and that like impact. It's so hard to match that. Like in the UI for Total War Warhammer, I actually like it quite a bit more than that of 3K. I think the UI is like, it's easier to see like whose troops are who. Like the flags are really good. The health bars are easy to follow. Like I don't like the orbs in 3K. That's something that does bother me a little bit. It is Italian Spartacus. It is him. Oh, the clan war isn't almost over. Well, give or take it is, yeah, because I have to actually go in about an hour. So yeah, we'll see how far we get. So we're in the battle. Steven Seagal is MIA now, which is good. And you can see here for the Tomb Kings, who are going to be led by Energized, he does have a Bone Giant, the Sphinx of Usef, and the Eyes of the Desert as far as his anti-large kit. The front line is going to be Tomb Guard, Skeleton Spearman. He does also have a Tomb Prince and Ark in the Black on foot, so just cackling, and they're both on foot. Interesting. So not going to be taking you know, any severe damage from charges, so that's interesting. Yeah, just kind of going to be Helm's Deeping around this Bone Giant, trying to pick off the Horsemen, and using the Necrosphinx to deal with heavy calves, some halberds in the back. I mean, it's a very elite Tomb King army, but it's certainly quite strong. Now, as far as the armies of Bretonnia goes, you can see here we have men-at-arms across the entire front line, a couple spears in the flanks, peasant archers, which actually are surprisingly good against Tomb Kings. You can get some decent volume of fire against, you know, these middle-tier constructs like the Eyes of the Desert. We got a couple cav units, Knights of the Realm, Knights Errant, and it's going to be the same thing on the other side. No, Grail Knights, actually, mixed in with Grail Knights and Grail Knights. So two groups of Grail Knights, King Louis up in the skies, as well as a healer. It's a solid little army for sure. I mean, are the Grail Knights going to be able to get on the appropriate target and avoid the spears? That is really going to be the name of the game for sure. Yeah. And the raid from Italian Spartacus. Yes. You know, I actually noticed that the numbers dropped when he raided. Maybe he just came and, like, you know, put some witchcraft on my stream. Who knows? Yes. So, Tomb Kings are going to be hanging tight. Bone Daddy's going to be unleashing some bows downtown. Probably going to be doing some decent damage against Grail Knights. I mean, that's not bad. It's going to be a turning about face, just nice and slow-like. Going to be getting those pot shots. And here we go. No, here we don't go. It's like he's so indecisive. He's like, you know, I feel like shooting. I don't feel like shooting. I'm going to pull out. But I have a feeling that's because he keeps switching targets. So the Bone Giant is going to be shooting now, and it looks like he's going to be going after the Peasant Bowman. It looks like the Grail Knights might have just like barely moved out of range for the Bone Giants. So perhaps that is the case, but who knows. So yeah, the Grail Knights are going to have some problems for sure. I mean, the Tomb Guards with Halberds and the Eyes of the Desert plus the Sphinx here is going to be tough, but he does have an overwhelming amount of cav. So if he could actually just like grind down the infantry, I mean, and isolate the big constructs just with bodies and numbers and just King Lewin cycle charges, that could actually be very strong. So the Eyes of the Desert are hidden right now. The first volley is coming down against the Knights of the Realm. It looks like it does take out 3 cav units, and the Tomb Kings are actually going to be advancing here instead of holding their formation. Tomb Guard will beat Men-at-Arms pretty badly. Their combat stats are quite juicy. 33 and 42 against, I mean, there are a lot of chevrons on these Men-at-Arms, actually. It looks like it's about, silver, so that's not bad. So frontline fighting is about to be underway. Ark in the Black is going to be in the frontline fight. Tomb Guard are going to be engaging with the Bretonnian peasants, and the charging is underway. So we're going to see how the fight goes. Immediately, the Men-at-Arms take some substantial damage, and it looks like Knights of the Realm are actually going to be taking a charge against the Eyes of the Desert. This is going to be pretty disastrous. The Sphinx is going to be charging in. Eyes have charge defense plus anti-large. Halberds are going to be screening the other side, and I am not feeling too good about the Bretonnian back line right now. Ark in the Black does also drop some Skeleton Warriors, but a beautiful charge here from Soder. I love that. Knowing the back line is very compromised, he grabs his Knights and is like, let's slam into these Tomb Guard and actually help the Bretonnians potentially win the front line. So beautiful stuff. But the back line, a little bit rough. The Knights Errant here got pounded pretty bad. The Knights of the Realm also, yeah, pretty much just got crumped, like, to oblivion. So not a good situation for those Knights of the Realm. Archers are still shooting in. Another rear charge coming in from the Bretonnians, and this is like textbook, like what to do if you can't get that good charge in the back. Those Grail Knights are making super quick work of the Tomb Guards, and yeah, quite solid. Now, Ark in the Black does have some summoned skeletons back here. He certainly wants to get those guys chasing down the archers, and it looks like he's going to be doing that. The Bone Giant's still shooting, though, and he's still tearing into these Grail Knights. Look at that. Oh, that is so nasty, doing so much damage. And the Grail Knight's getting slapped with the Spirit Leech as well. Just a lot of disastrous stuff. Now, the Bounce of Power is a little bit in the favor of the Tomb Kings. I feel like they're in a pretty good position right now. The back line is still safe. The Eyes of the Desert are in good shape. Halberds are back there. The Bone Giant's shooting. The Monsters are okay. Leadership's okay. And the Bretonnians are taking pretty heavy damage. Despite some really good plays here from Soder, I feel like the army of Energized here is just being so cost effective. And the big Sphinx is still healthy. I mean, the Tomb Prince is on foot. It's going to be super tough. And the Sphinx does come in to go fisticuffs with King Lewin, who does have an overcasted Earthblood here. But look at that. The Realm of Souls is now here. So the Ushapti summon could easily be dropped back here, which I would probably hold it. Holding the Ushapti summon to the late game or until it's like, you have a moment where like there's no cav left and they can't really be contested, I think is a little bit better. But anyways, here Energized does have the Sphinx, who's taken a little bit of damage from the Grail Knights as well as King Lewin, but Arkin's here, there's a Tomb Prince here. It's not the best situation. I mean, maybe he's going to just mass commit to this engagement. And the Bone Giant in the back is in good shape as well. He's not being pressured at all. However, there are some Knights of the Realm coming in from Soder who are going to be doing some good work if they actually get onto this appropriate target. So we're going to see here if the Knights of the Realm are able to jump on and take out this Bone Giant. But right now, it looks like Energized is in a pretty dominant position. King Lewin here is a little bit surrounded. He's taking a beating. The Grail Knights, though they are quite valiant, are going down here. They did get some really good damage against the Sphinx, though, so good for those guys. Now some archers are back online. Looks like some Knights Errant are blocked up here by some Skeleton Warriors. And the Ushapti summon has been used in the back by Energized, and those bad boys are going to be chasing down the Peasant Bowmen. So certainly not the best situation for those guys. Now King Lewin is going to be pulling back up in the skies. And is he going to be getting that sweet juicy charge? It looks like the Damsel of Life comes in and tries to be the hero Gotham needs, but she is really out of her element here. She's just going to be getting beaten on by this Tomb Prince. Ark in the Black coming in, and I think with her going down, Soder needs to pull her back. I don't know what he's doing right there. And look at this. The Eyes of the Desert in the back, just such a good tool against Bretonnia. You have that stock, so you can't really shoot them with archers efficiently, and they're just tearing apart these Knights of the Realm. Big Daddy Bone Giant coming in with his bow and just pimp slapping those guys. It is not looking good for the Bretonnians. So the Damsel's going to be running the Sphinx. I mean, this is a hard matchup for Bretonnia as is. It is incredibly difficult. But you need some Halberds, in my opinion. You also need, I think, a couple Paladins with their bonus first large. I think getting with the Fey Enchantress is probably a little bit of a better pick. But, I mean, Lewin's quite good as well. Lewin, Paladin, plus a Lifecaster is very, very strong. So the Damsel gets chased off. The Spirit Leech is going to be tagging her as well. The Sphinx in the back is going to be killing the archers, and it looks like pretty much a mass rout. But I really love his play with the Eyes of the Desert. Look at them just roasting those guys in the charge. And they have that charge defense too, so when the Knights do get in there, just doing so much work. I'm loving Energized play here with the Eyes of the Desert. Those guys are doing incredible work, and man, this is quite intense. Look at this, just a fierce cockfight of the ages. So the Eyes of the Desert able to hold firm. The Bone Giant's going to be probably able to fend off Lewin with the help of the Eyes of the Desert. Ark in the Black and the Tomb Prince in perfect shape. The Bretonnians have a couple bastions of strength left, a couple spearmen and archers over here, but the Sphinx is still like half health, which is like super meaty and thick. And I mean, Lewin's doing it. He's fighting his heart out, trying to claw that bounce of power back here. He's getting some decent damage against this guy, but oh man, I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be going down here. Oh yeah, and Von Karstein, don't stress it, man. It's not your fault. Like, Steam is just being a dildo right now. So, King Lu and Leonker jumping onto the Bone Giant, which is a good fight for him. He would win it normally. And the Knights of the Realm going to be charging back in. Some of these, I think some Grail Knights in here. No, it looks like it's Knight Errants and Grail Knights. And yeah, Eyes of the Desert still holding. These guys have generated huge value this whole game. 68 kills, mostly, all of which have been against cav units and like elite units and things like that. So, Energize coming in and able to take this series. Looks like it. Yep, it's going to be 2-1. So, from here, guys, we're actually going to be watching replays of the battles, which should be a little bit faster. So the players, since Steam was having issues, I just told them to play like off camera and then send me the replay. So it still won't be a spoiler because they're playing 2 games regardless. So it'll be good. So with that, Energize is going to take that, and DDG is going to be going up here, and boom, coming in with the steel chair. Very well played to Energize, as well as Soder. He took an incredibly hard matchup with the Bretonia and put up a great fight, but alas, it is it's a bold strategy, Cotton. And here we go. So let's go ahead and jump over to the caster's desk here while we get the next replays ready. And let's check. Okay. We're going to check in and see what they want to do. That was a great battle for sure. And spectate. So just check in with the guys. Yeah, they're saying they're having some lags and crashes and things like that. Not a problem. So we got the first round of Fish Tech and Montaz. Okay, we're getting some replays in, which is good. Going to download the replay. Let's do this and yeah, just get it set up. Hopefully you guys are doing well. We're going to do round 1 here. Fist Tech and Montag, yeah. Cast this one. Cool. So here we are. Let's load into the game here. Just checking in to make sure I'm not missing anything. Yes, do drop a like if you guys like. If you like it, drop a like. So, we're going to cast the first game here between these two fine gentlemen. So let's switch back here to the battle scorecard, and here we go. So this is the first game. It's going to be between DDG, Montcaz, who's going to be playing the High Elves, facing off against a High Elf mirror. We all know how much we love mirror matches. So, it looks like Altos Elfos. Oh yeah, that's right, because it's from the Spanish client. That's really funny. It's going to be the Altos Elfos facing off against the Altos Elfos. Oh my god, that's so funny. So, it's going to be a mirror match, which is great. So for the armies of these High Elves, it looks like Alariel the Radiant is going to be leading the forces of this High Elf army here. And yes, this is the one that is a DDG, I believe, and this army over here is for VM. So unfortunately, when you're doing replays, it doesn't give you the tips there, which is a little bit annoying. So in the front line, it's going to be Spearmen and White Lines mixed in with a secondary core of the Sisters of Averlorn and Archers. So a little bit more of an Archer-centric build. He does also have Swordmasters of Hoeth here in the back, a Noble, and Alariel the Radiant, some Spears, and one Dragon Prince. So this is the army of DDG. So remember that. It's going to be Alariel, DDG, and it's going to be the Archer army with only one Dragon Prince. Now for the armies of VM, it's going to be a couple groups of White Line, so a massive White Line core, which is going to be a better front line than this one. Obviously, some of the expense of this army did go into the Sisters and things like that. But the main core of this army is really just going to be a Noble and a massive erect ball of Dragon Princes. Oh my goodness, including the Fireborn. They're going to be teamed up with the Noble and the Pigeon Queen herself without her pigeon. So let's get this show on the road, guys. So immediately he's going to be advancing up through the forest here. We're going to see what happens. And yeah, I mean, this army has a lot of archers. It's really going to be, can the armies of DDG here kind of defend their back line and keep these sisters intact? Because if the sisters get pounded, we all know how that goes. I don't know. And Philip, thank you for the 10 Zlatus donation. Really appreciate it. Really do appreciate it. We all love these mirror matches. But even like in this game, like, you know, the banner system is pretty good. You're able to kind of tell things apart. So the first volleys are going to be coming in from the armies of the High Elves, shooting into the other Altos Elfos, getting some decent damage against these white lines right here, tearing into those guys. Archers, you know, will do decent damage. White lines actually have base missile resist. They have 30%, so they're not like, you know, super bad against missiles, but the white line's pushing in, and these Dragon Princes and Spears, they need to form a bit of a denial. There's not a lot of backline pressure. You can see immediately these Spearmen are going to be like, oh god, there's a massive force coming from the woods. It's literally a High Elf Rohirrim army. So the Rohirrim going to be coming in, getting ready to charge, and yeah, we're going to see how it goes. So these Dragon Princes with a huge charge in the front, doing just a ton of damage against these white lions. So DDG with the frontal charge against the armies of, man, it's so like, when it doesn't say the players' names, it can be a little bit tricky. But look at this backline is just so open. These Dragon Princes are going to come in and just Shrek these guys. Now the Dragon Princes come in for the yellow High Elf player, and they're going to be trying to intercept, and some of the Swordmasters of Hoth are being forced into combat, but of course they're not an anti-large troop. And you can see here, these Dragon Princes are getting melted, and it looks like the Star of Avalorn is going to be going down. Now, the front line of the yellow army is actually doing pretty good. These white lines are getting beaten up pretty bad, and the other Dragon Princes did overload that flank, so it looks like there were 2 princes for this army as well, whereas the other one just had a lot more. Now, these princes are going to be getting up and around the back, looking for targets, but the Spearmen are rotating in, with the Fireborn Rohirrim going to be getting a massive charge into the sisters in the back, and getting some really, really solid damage. So, man, that's some pretty brutal stuff. Now, balance power is pretty even, but look at this. The yellow army, Clan DDG, just crushing the front line. You can see the Pure Main Company, the Spearmen, able to just run those guys over. That's because the Dragon Princes overloaded initially, kind of at the cost of their flank. But these Dragon Princes, of course, for Clan VM here, doing a very, very good job and able to kind of crush this engagement. So the Rohirrim army is going to be winning over here on this part of the battlefield, but the infantry is winning for Clan DDG. Now, the Spearmen are going to be fighting into the Fireborn. Fireborn taking a lot of damage from the archers. But yeah, this isn't a great engagement for them. They are on top of the sisters, but the sisters aren't having it. They're bucking, and yeah, the Spearmen here going to be, you know, poking them back. So the bounce power is very even, but I think that the yellow army here is going to be in a little bit of better shape. It's tough to say. Yes, the Star of Avalorn is just so good. It's such a good ability. It did actually get nerfed with this patch, but it's still an incredibly, like, you know, game-breaking ability in my opinion. It's not game-breaking, but it's a staple for the High Elves. So Spearmen here are going to be grinding out the Fireborn, who do have the upgraded Shield of Thorns, giving them 50% weapon damage, putting them up to 60. So they are putting some hurt onto the sisters. But, you know, the Rohirrim army is pretty good in terms of its endurance. They have double Dragon Princes, they have a Noble here. But look at this. The Swordmasters are still in really good shape, and they're actually getting a decent little engagement here on Alariel. And it looks like, you know, the Yellow Forces, Clan DDG, I think is going to be in pretty good shape. It seems like they're just grinding out this fight, and the Dragon Princes are going to have to fight so many Spearmen, so many White Lions, and White Lions are actually very, very good against, you know, cav units. They have, you know, not, you know, because of any particular reason, but they have good AP and they have good base combat stats, so they don't have to rely on a bonus versus large as much. Now, there are going to be a couple White Lions coming back for Clan VM here. Those guys are going to be pushing into the back line, shutting off the archers, which is going to be incredibly important, but this grindy fight is still underway, with the Pure Main Company coming in. Is going to give Guardian. It's just going to be so good, and the Swordmasters are piling in here, and you can see that the forces of Clan VM here are having some problems with this fight. The Nobles and Company getting a little bit surrounded. Granted, Alariel is surrounded. She needs to get some help, but the Pure Main Company has piled in, giving her Guardian, and it looks like there is going to be another Noble coming back in, who most likely is going to be attacking the enemy Alariel, so we'll see how that goes. And here the White Lines are fighting, but the Dragon Princes should be able to clean those guys up, and the Archers probably will come back online. And there are some sisters in the back that are coming back online as well, but I really just do think that it's going to be a bit of a foregone conclusion here, as the Pure Main Company and all these spears and stuff is probably going to be able to outgrind the Rohirrim army, which wasn't able to really, you know, find its home. The backline defense was actually pretty good. Initially, it was relatively open, but he rotated really well, pulled his Dragon Princes back from the front line, and yeah, man, brutal stuff here. You can see DDG getting in there. It looks like Alariel and Company are probably going to be polished off. These Dragon Princes in the back, cleaning up the, you know, whatever's left. And the Fireborn have come back online, and they're quite good against Sisters, because Sisters do fire damage, and Fireborn have massive fire resist, so it looks like there's going to be a bit of a pounding charge coming in. And yes, you guys love the line, Sisters getting pounded by the Fireborn. Unfortunate stuff for them. Fireborn, a very, very solid unit here, but the Archers should be able to honestly, just through sheer volume of fire, clean those guys up. Another Star of Avalorn going down, which is going to be healing up Swordmasters and Company, and with that, the balance of power is starting to ebb heavily in the flavor of Clan DDG. The Altos Elfos here doing a very, very good job. And yeah, it was a clear outcome here. I think we all knew the Elves were going to take this one from the beginning. And with that, it's a bit of a foregone conclusion. You can see the bounce power is just ebbing. It's mainly just going to be a bit of a grind as the Elf forces do clean up the Elf forces here. So very well played. Clan DDG coming out with a pretty substantial lead here. might be able to secure this clan war. So let us update the scorecard there. Yes. And there were a couple players who didn't show up, unfortunately. So, yes. I think that's going to be... Let me make sure I got that right. Yes, I did. So Montcaz is doing a very, very good job here, going up 4-1 here in this clan war. So let's go ahead and double check here and see if we got the next replay. Do we have second replay? Just checking in to see if we have that next replay. I know, the 12-year-old in all of us is giggling. I'm just a man-child, basically, so. You know, I worked a job before this, before YouTube, where I like had to be super mature all the time. So, you know, I think I'm just letting out all the pent-up steam. The High Elves are quite strong. Oh, okay. So they're waiting for me for the next game. So we're going to jump over, get that going. The battles, all the battles are live except that one. Great. So they wanted to do this one live. We just did that to buy some time while people were getting ready and everything. So there's more battles. There's more battles. Don't you guys worry. Thank you, man. I'm glad you guys enjoy my haggardness. Steven Seagal's back in Clan DDG in a pretty decisive state right now. We might actually have one more after this. We're not sure what players are here and which ones didn't show up. Typically with Clan Wars, I don't like manage the logistics of players as much. I leave it to the clan leader, so so we'll see what happens. Yeah, I know. You could even do it. That's what she said with that. I'm not sure. We're probably going to do a Clan War with a Clan CC, which is, of course, has folks like Shetland Apache in it eventually. But we might take a bit of a break and do, because my Eternal Challenger League is going to start next week. So I'm going to be doing that every single weekend for like 8 weeks in a row. So Eternal Challenger League does start next week, so that's going to be it's going to be that. And here we go. We're in. Steven Seagal, I told you to get your girth off the screen. Thank you. Pokemon Total War. Oh my god. Thank you, Artem. Appreciate it. So, for Montcaz, he's already up 1-0 here. And you can see here that Fish Tech is going to be fighting for the pride of VM, trying to claw their way back in. We do, of course, have Montcaz, who's going to be using Cetra the Imperishable. So this is actually, I think that we've had a lot of like hard matchups today, but Tomb Kings versus Norska, I've always been of the opinion that it's a pretty goddamn awesome matchup. It's even, it's good, and yeah, I don't know, hard to say. Cetra the Imperishable here in the back for the leadership on his War Sphinx. It's going to be Tomb Guard in the front line with two Ushapti Grapos, which are very good against Norska. I think that like all Tomb Kings builds should have a couple of Ushapti Grapos against Norska. They're so good against Famir. They're good against Mammoth. They're just a beastly unit. On top of that, he's got a couple Skeleton Archers, so a very ranged heavy build. So it is going to be opening himself up a little bit for some backline pressure. He's got Tomb Guards. He's got Skeleton Warriors in the back, Skeleton Spears. And, the Eyes of the Desert, it seems like this has been a bit of a recurring theme today. These guys have done quite solid. And, they have good ranged attacks, AP, against the, Famir and things like that. And they also have good anti-large. So there's a couple things like that, which would be quite good. And yeah, for the Eternal Challenger League, I will be doing, all the good stuff there. So yeah, CC versus ODM would be really fun for sure. And now, for the Norscan army, it looks like it's going to be a front line of Berserkers, which obviously will beat down the Tomb King's infantry. So already he has a pretty good little engagement there. Skeleton Archers are going to be making a pretty good difference against them as well, though. We do have Wolfric the Wanderer. We got a Shaman Sorcerer with Fire. And some Miststalkers in the back. A couple Javelins, Famir Warriors with Great Weapons, and Hounds. It's a very well-rounded Norscan army. I think both players are playing for keeps now. It's got Harass. It has frontline damage. It has Famir, but can he get in the back line, shut down the Ushapti? Is his front line going to be able to grind through this quick enough? But the Norscan Onslaught emerging through the forest. That is such a cool cinematic right there. To just see Hounds and Berserkers just running from the trees. These guys are ready to party. We're going to see how it goes. So the Ushapti Grapos are going to be tearing into these guys. Wolfric and company just kind of lurking in the shadows here. But the Hound's getting a little bit overzealous, Bob. Charging in there, a little bit bloodthirsty, but Cetra is going to be intercepting them. Probably going to be terror routing them almost instantly. But they do get a little bit of charge here onto the Ushapti Grapos, which I suppose isn't a bad idea. It is going to shut them down temporarily. The Ushapti do get Nero's Incantation of Protection, but the Hounds are going to be falling back in a moment. but this is good. It's kind of like mucking things up a little bit. And the Hounds are going to take damage, but they'll most likely come back as well. So the Berserkers are just going to be tearing into Skeleton Warriors in the front line. So it wasn't Tomb Guard, it was actually Skeleton Warriors. So the Berserkers getting in here, and here it goes. Man, they're just going to be giving the business to these Skeleton Warriors. If you look at the DPS, you can already see the Skeleton are getting cut to pieces, and it's only going to get worse as they get more enraged. Now, the Javelins need to open up here on the Eyes of the Desert. If he can get the Beast of Tashnar, this is going to be a great pick here for Fistek. If he can get all the Javelins, the Beast of Tashnar plus Wulfric and these elites, these Eyes of the Desert are going to be melted. So beautiful pick here by Norska and Fistek. VM coming back with a vengeance here. The Miststalkers and the Famir are taking some archer damage, which certainly isn't great. And Anna creeping into the room here. She's actually crawling under the camera. Don't worry, you don't have to crawl. You're good. You're all good. She's like trying to hide from the webcam. But anyway, Setcher the Imperishable is going to be charging in here. The Famir in the back are actually getting onto the Ushabti Great Bows, but yeah, I don't know. It's a very, very close fight. The Eyes of the Desert getting 100% melted here. The Javelin's getting in there and doing great work. Look at the Eyes of the Desert going down. Brutal stuff right there. And yeah, sorry about the noise, guys. That was just Anna coming in and getting some stuff. So the Marauders cutting through the Skeleton Warriors in the front line. And, I mean, Norska looks to be in a pretty good position. The Hounds are going to be creeping around the back, and there is a huge opening to outmaneuver. Skeleton Spears are very slow, and if Fishtack is able to get here and get onto those Skeleton Archers, that is going to be such a nice freebie. A huge Burning Skull coming down, but it looks like it was a bit of a miss from that Fire Sorcerer. But Berserkers are just doing such good work. Wulfric's in good shape, going after Setcher the Imperishable. The Famir are piling in the back, and yeah, the Ushabti are going down. The Eyes of the Desert are already dead. I mean, the Ushabti Great Bow are still doing really good work. The Ushabti Great Bows are killing the Miststalkers, but we're going to see these Hounds doing some crazy micro, kind of just slipping through here. Oh, they could collapse in the back. There's so many juicy targets back here, but look at these Miststalkers just being taken to Pound Town. Brutal, brutal stuff. Remember, Setcher's still in good shape, though. Javelins are in good shape. Very, very even fight here. Bounce Power is pretty much dead. Even the Hounds are finally going to be getting onto Skeleton Archers. So beautiful micro here, slipping those guys into the back line. And they're going to be able to make pretty quick work with these Skeleton Archers. The Norscan Hounds do hit very, very hard, and for some reason the Skeleton Spears are being diverted to the front line, although they would be very useful back here. But it looks like, yeah, tying down the Ushabti plus Skeleton Archers there is very, very good. Now Fistak is going to be getting his Javelins online, throwing some Spears here, etc. The Berserkers are attacking the Tomb Guard here. Tomb Guard are actually able to do pretty well for themselves in that engagement. And Wulfric and the Firecaster are, yeah, doing their thing. They're fighting. Even battle, guys. Yeah, I don't think anybody's... Maybe the Tomb Kings actually, after a couple, grinds here, I think are maybe in a slight advantage because Setcher is going to be able to outdo Wulfric most likely. And he does still have his Skeletons, Archers online. The Ushabti Great Bows are in great shape. But if Fistek can come in here with the Norscan Ice Wolves plus the Beast of Tashnar and get a really good charge and maybe take out these Ushabti, that's going to be really solid. Oh man, this is a really, really good grab. Oh, but no, send the Hounds here. The Hounds, if they actually double team the anti-large on the Beast of Tashnar, would be so useful against these guys. It would pretty much seal their doom, but it looks like he's trying to diversify a little bit and go after the Skeleton Archers. Another Burning Skull in the back. Looks like it was going down the front line here to help out a little bit. There still are some Famir, but the Tomb Kings are kind of clawing their way back into this game. I mean, if Setcher can actually kill the Firecaster here, that is going to be huge. Tomb Guard with Halberds are crumbling. Man, this is a really, really close fight. A lot of good battles today, despite the lag. Wulfric is going to be dropping his Haggard Pirate Ship with the Gods. The Hounds did try and get in the back line. I think it was a mistake to not attack and overwhelm the Ushabti there. Wulfric is going to be hunting down the Settra, perhaps issuing some curses in ancient Nehekar language. But yeah, he's not going to be able to catch him most likely. The Firecaster was able to escape, which is going to give Norska a fighting chance. I think had the Firecaster died there, it would have been pretty much a foregone conclusion. Wulfric, I don't know how he's going to do in this fight. This is a hard fight. Hunter of Champions will certainly help him. Putting the melee defensive Setcher to 0 plus Fireball support. Yeah, he might be able to win this, actually. It's going to be tough. Fight or die going down. Setcher does get tagged with the Fireball. He's not in the best shape, for sure. Wulfric needs to push through and make sure to stay on him. The Famir, the Miststalkers are coming back in. Might be able to actually get a charge. They actually have pretty good missile resist, so they have the From the Mist. So they get in there. They start clubbing the Skeleton Archers. The Hounds are going to be chewing on Ushabti Great Bows. And Berserkers are going to be coming back across the battlefield. A couple are rampaging. Here we do have the Famir Warriors who are almost able to kill the Ushabti Great Bows. This Fire Sorcerer should turn around and attack those Great Bows. Like, he needs to kill the Ushabti Great Bows. They're just putting so much hurt on all of his units. Wulfric, a little bit caught up here. Looks like he might have dropped his orders. I think he needs to get over there and get on top of Setcher. He's just kind of sitting there and hanging out, just yelling and cursing and doing his Eternal Challenger stuff. Wulfric is actually the Eternal Challenger. I think that's one of his nicknames. That's actually where I got the inspiration from. So in the back, the Marauder Hunters with Javelins are coming back in. A little bit chased down by the Tomb Guard. He needs those guys back in the fight, though. They're going to be super useful. And the Wolves actually are chased off. Bounce of Power is dead even. Like, just dead in the center here. Wulfric is going to be charging into the Ushabti, most likely. He needs to get some damage on those guys. Because Setcher is just doing such a good job riding around and finishing off the Berserkers and all the other chaff units. Yeah, these Great Bows need to go down. And it looks like the Great Bows on the other side were actually able to break those Famir, which was going to be so tough. Berserkers are being picked apart by Skeleton Archers, which is going to be just even harder. Norska just losing all of its infantry. Wolfric's going to have his work cut out for him for sure. He does have the Mistalker Fimir Warriors that are back, and it looks like there is going to be a Pirate Ship of the Gods. Ooh, this could be really good if it goes down and tears apart this formation. And very, very nice cast. Going down those Skeleton Spearmen, it looks like there's also going to be a Burning Skull. Nice 1-2 punch there coming in from Fistek, fighting to the bitter end. Both players just scrapping hard. And he is able to melt those guys. A lot of the Tomb King stuff is crumbling. You know, it's beat up. The only thing that's really in good shape are these Ushabti and Cetra. I mean, everything else is very, very close to the danger zone. Fistek is staying so persistent. Just getting these guys back, and look at this. These Berserkers somehow are still fighting. They're shaken. -24. Are they going to stabilize? It doesn't look like it. They're probably going to break. The Norscan Hounds here might be able to kill those archers off. The Javelins are finished off by Cetra as well. And over here we do have the Fimir Warriors still fighting to the bitter end. So, man, such a fight for sure. Here you can see that the Fire Sorcerer is going to be jumping on top of the Ushabti Grapos. We have Wolfric the Wanderer helping to clean up the chaff units. But the bounce power is actually heavily in the favor of Norska. With the Fimir coming back, that's actually making a huge difference. The Doggos did a pretty good job finishing off what they could, but they're actually polished off for now. If we look around, though, Tomb Kings don't have too much. Fistek needs to make sure that he actually micros these Fimir and gets them back in the battle. Like, he needs to form a Death Star at this point and just stay, like, high and tight. These Ushabti Grapo, who are pretty much full health, are going to be getting crumped on by these Fimir. Fimir are so good here. They're so good in this matchup. And you can see the Ushabti are not going to be having a good time. Look at Wolfric just getting in there and just being a pimp on his horse. And Wolfric at this point, yeah, should be able to take down Cetra, or at least put up a good fight. I mean, Cetra is very powerful. Hunter of Champions going down, which is pretty much going to, you know, put Cetra in a really bad position, because now he's not going to be able to get away. But maybe he was just coming in to try and proc the curse, because Tomb King's Lords, when they do get low, actually proc a curse. So perhaps that could be what's going on here. I don't know if Cetra's going to be able to get away. Hunter of Champions doing a ton of work. Fimir, Wolfric needs to be a little bit more aggressive about chasing him. You can't let him, like, you know, just squeak away like that. Fimir Warriors are going to be going after the Skeleton Archers, the Blessed Legion of Demonetization over here, who does get the Cursed Blades, which does not help with their missile attacks. So I think he was just trying to get the heal from the Realm of Souls type effect. And you can see here the Fimir Warriors are shaken, but they're not. They're shaken, but they're not broken. They're going to be just pounding the Blessed Legion. That is going to be a great little fight here for Fistek, who you know, able to come back here in the second game. He did lose the High Elf Mirror, but it looks like his Norska is going to be able to win in a matchup that I think is pretty, you know, I don't know who I would say. I think Norska and Tomb Kings have a very good matchup against one another. It's a very fun one. So Cetra is trying to run through his spears, and he actually does tie up Wolfric amongst his spears, which is pretty good. Ooh, this is going to be good if Fistek can maybe get on this caster. Not Fistek, if Montox can actually get on the caster here. A fireball in the face of Cetra. And you can see the Shaman Sorcerer is going to be squeaking away for his dear life. Berserkers coming in, waving their axes, looking awfully pissed off. And I feel like Berserkers kind of have the same, like, charging animation as Goblins, how they, like, wave their axes in the air. I don't know. And with that, Norska comes back. I really thought they were going to lose that one earlier, but man, fighting for the pride of Clan VM. Getting that game back. And damn, that was really, really well played. Norska clawed its way back. That was a really good battle. That was a really, really good battle. So well played to both of those gentlemen. That's going to be Clan VM back on the scoreboard. So let me go ahead and check. 2v2 would be, but Fistek is one of them. All right, guys. So we're going to end the stream with the 2v2 at the end, which is ceremonial for our Clan War series. So Caster's Desk. Hello, I'm back. We're going to be doing 2v2. Falcon in chat says, Wolfric on a horsey is OP. Please nerf too strong. No contest to him, not even close. Beautiful insight. Certainly has some wisdom from, you know, one of the finalists have ever chosen and the champion of the Eternal Challenger League. We'll certainly be seeing Falcon back in future ever chosens. And yeah, man. Thanks for the battles. Great games between those two. And now we're going to be doing the grand 2v2. Lobby 6 is ready. The North remembers what? All right. So this is going to be the last one of the day. So technically, DDG has won the stream, but we're going to have a 2v2, which is going to be, you know, setting the tone, ending on a powerful note here. We did have a couple players who unfortunately did not show up to the tournament, so such is life. And yeah, we're going to be doing a 2v2. It's going to be fierce. We're going to fight on Troll Country because it's a small map, and it's going to be funny to see the armies there. Yeah, I've read quite a few Warhammer books, Bob. I've read I've read, let's see, the Gotrek and Felix. I read Troll Slayer. I read Skaven Slayer. I'm reading Demon Slayer. I haven't been reading much lately, but I've read quite a few Warhammer 40k books as well. Thousand Suns, Horus Rising, Dark Imperium, Plague Wars. I'm going to read Lords of Silence soon and the Cloak and Dagger. Stuff. Thank you so much for the $2 donation. Appreciate it, man. No more Altos Elfos, all right, guys? Falcon, have you accepted that chat mandates you need to be nerfed, or do you still plan to dominate all tournaments? Yeah. Yeah. So it's going to be Destroyer and Baba Yaga. Let's see who they're facing off against. We can do one more 1v1. We might actually go back to a 1v1. Apparently some of our folks may have fallen asleep. This is just so haggard. Everything's falling apart. It's okay though. It's still been really fun. So it's due to the delays from Steam. Some of the players might have had to pass out since it's like 5 a.m. where they live. Damn it, Steam! Well, if that's the case, all right. So let's do. Hold on. So with that, Clan VM or Clan DDG is going to be victorious today. They would have won regardless, but man, okay. Come and get some, boys. We're going to end the stream with 1 or 2 games here. Come and get some. I'm queuing up on that ladder. I'm waiting. Steven Seagal and I are waiting. My hands feel pretty good, so I'm going to do 1 or 2 games. If it doesn't work, I could just fight Falcon. So. Oh. Of course, quick battles aren't going to work either. You guys want me to play Falcon? Falcon, you want to battle? You want to do it, man? Well, it doesn't seem like quick battles want to work, so... I gotta see if he even wants to play, because he might be sleeping. Let me go into Discord. Hold on, guys. The stream is devolving into anarchy. Yeah, Steam has been having problems all days, but you know, again, I just want to say big thanks to Clan DDG and as well as Clan VM. I mean, despite all the issues, we were able to get through that, and yeah. So let me invite. You guys can see Falcon. Just give me the business. He's probably all warmed up now, and I'm just like. Look at this. All right. I'll fight for your entertainment, you bums. So let's go to Pillar of Bone. It's one of my favorite maps. Where art thou, pillar of bone? I'll play the rat boys. Actually, let's do Vampire Coast. I feel like playing the coast. Alright, so coast for me, and he's playing Norska. Alright, so let's see. I feel like it wouldn't be complete without Steven Seagal here, so let's get him. Steven. Gotta get him. Where is he hiding on my desktop? Shouldn't be too hard to find. Alright, there we go. You guys can, just so it's a surprise for you guys. He's going Wood Elves, alright, interesting, alright. It's gonna be good. So Falcon likes to play his Wild Riders. I know this. He loves his Wild Rider play. We're gonna try something a little bit hog wild here and see how it pans out. I actually don't even remember this matchup too much. Let's see what my guide build was against Wood Elves. I had a guide where I had a build against him at one point. This seems okay. A little bit outdated for sure. So we're gonna change some things up. the dreaded one. All right, that's looking pretty good. I know he loves his Wild Riders. Those things can be a real pain in the ass. Do we want to? Yeah, get those guys. You guys are gonna like the way this build looks. I guarantee it. God, it's so everything is so expensive though. All right, it's go time. You guys ready for the? You know, I kind of have a feeling the rush is coming, right? Like the Wild Rider rush, but are we going to see that coming? I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I don't think we need to do that actually. I'm changing up the build. I'm like trying to mind game a little bit here. And let's oh yeah, we're gonna get real crazy up in here. Let's go, champ. Yeah, the Hard Knock Life is pretty good. It's Falcon, the rush is 100% coming. Well, I kind of like, you can't like think that though, because then if like, you can't give in to the mind games. You have to like respect a general Wood Elf pick. That's what's so hard is like, yeah, I don't know. A Death Star? I mean, I would be fine with the Death Star to be honest. I don't know. My usual build is very mortar heavy. I know he's renowned, but you know what? I brought weird picks too. I brought weird picks as well. So you guys think he's the only one that tricks up his sleeve. And let's just to be frank, Falcon is a better player than I am. But we're gonna try our best to scrap this one out. Sometimes we get wins off him with scraps, but he is a very, very good player. All right, so let's go ahead and get this. All right, so we're going with the Hard Knock Life as usual. And yeah, we got some Colossus, and we got the dreaded double Colossus, mind you. It's very important if you're going with the dreaded double Colossus to start a little bit further back. We have a couple guns as well. We have a crab too. We got some crabs in the back. All right, so that's kind of the main core of the army, right? We're going with the dreaded double Colossus plus the gunnery white to give extra powder. So that's going to be super fun. And let's get the Colossus in group 2. Those guys are going to be kind of sitting back, and you have to just like watch out for the Way Watchers and stuff. And Hound Micro is like super important here too. You need to like really, really be aggressive with Hounds, because if you're not, you're just going to lose. He probably has Cav to like counter my Hound play, but if he's dealing with that, then he's not dealing with my army, right? So I'll put these guys in guard mode. Steven Seagal's gone. Yeah, we'll get Bruce Lee sometime. All right. Ready. Got to put the pressure on him, you know. He could be in like a vanguard, so we're actually going to like start a little bit further back. And let's get some hounds back here as well. Because if he has like a mass vanguard and he just snipes Noctilus right away, that's going to suck really bad. All right, let me sit up straight. Shake out the hands a little bit. Oh, yeah, come on, buddy. We're good. Game face is on. What do you got? He's a little sneaky here. He's got a smaller army, so I think he is going with Wild Riders. I mean, Vampire Coast always has pretty serious numbers, though, so... We're gonna see. Oh, trust me. You guys are ready for this. Alright, so let's go ahead and get you guys. Go back here. It doesn't look like there's any of those, so we're gonna go around there, and you guys can pull back here. Go here. Guns go there. Guns go there. Great. So yeah, we're shooting into the archers, getting some pretty good damage out of the gates. We can go ahead and kind of split the fire a little bit. We need to advance, actually, and fight up here. And the reason we do that is to keep the pressure away. So let's get the hounds back there. You guys can kind of slip through here, and you guys can just kind of hang tight and get ready. So the guns can also shoot in against pretty much whatever we can hit. The crabbies can go back there. I'm not terribly concerned about Wild Riders back here, to be honest. It's not that scary. So let's get our guns and shoot back here. Get Noctilus and company and pull these halberds here. And it looks like the dragon's coming in as well. So let's get you guys going here. You hounds can pull down through here. And you hounds can just go chase these guys, and these guys can go here. Great. So Noctilus and company are in pretty good shape. We do have the big dragon up in the skies who's kind of cackling at us a little bit, but for the most part, I think we're okay. So let's go ahead and turn our sights here. We'll get the gunnery white shooting up here as well. Front line is actually a little bit scary, so we're going to drop some summons back here. Let's pull the hounds back. And you houndies can go attack these guys. Great. So these guys are going to be able to get on there and potentially do some work. We are getting some really good hammering down on his lord, and we might need to pull those guys up, but yeah, we're getting some really, really good damage on this guy right here. Let's actually get one of our Colossus and have it shoot in the back and start, polishing off the Wild Riders there. And we do need more summons here to kind of get on those guys. Hounds in the back, we need to make sure to get on the appropriate targets. Yeah, it's going okay. It's a pretty decent little fight so far. I'm not sure how it's going, but let's go ahead and shoot here. We'll get the crabs going into the Wild Riders, which is fine. We'll get you going right here. And just keep those guns shooting. Honestly, just keep you going here. And we're going to give some extra powder to Noctilus to make sure he doesn't run out. Great. So the Dryad's in the front getting a little bit worn down, but for the most part, the hounds are still causing some pressure. We just have to make sure to stay really steady on that. And the crabs, can we get in there and actually just crabby fight this guy? Let's go in there and just see if we can beat him down real quick. He's a little bit overextended, to be honest. So the hounds are creeping, they're creeping, and can we just get under here and just get right into those archers, which is going to be good. We are on top of his lord, which is going to be nice, and now this is like the perfect opportunity for a fat invocation. Yeah, I think we should be able to kill his lord here. Alright, great. So these hounds have gotten into the archers. We need to kind of keep that pressure going. Some troops are going to be piling in here, but yes. So we did get his lord, which is like a huge, huge win. So now we just send the halberds forward, pull the rotting Prometheans back, and check the gunnery white here, pull him back as well. And the hounds are just doing the work of the dark gods. So now that he's reacted to the hounds, we pull them back, right? We can just go fight here if we want. We have summons, but I think we need to save up a little bit. Let's drop Wraith Storm on those guys. Crabs can just come back here and help. Not terribly concerned about the Wild Riders, to be honest. They're not something I have to respect too much. Yeah, it's just like keeping the dogs online is going to be really important for winning this. But I think we're in a pretty advantageous state right now. So let's go ahead and turn and start finishing these guys off if we can. It's all about securing that back line, because we can play this like long grindy game for a long time. We have the gunnery whites, like we have that ammunition. We have a lot of tools for that. But mind you, Falcon still has a lot. So we're going to save up our winds of magic to make sure that we can keep doing what we love, as they say. Shoot here, extra powder. Who do we want to extra powder? The Colossus is fine. Let's pull him back. He's doing a really good job defending his archers now, but let's go ahead and pile into those guys. Rasamudal can just go right on top of him. Oof, those bows are hurting. So I think honestly we don't need to worry too much about this. Let's get you shooting here. Shoot your gun. You don't need to. And the crabs can just go attack these guys. We'll get you guys going right here. We did get that nice little summon there. So the dogs unfortunately do get caught out a little bit by the remnants of the Wild Riders. Let's pull you back if we can. You just keep shooting there. Crabby boys are going to just pile in here, and we could actually... Yeah, we're going to have to use an invocation in the heck right here to hit all these guys, because the archers are actually starting to do a lot of damage to us. So let's shoot you guys. Archers are getting beat up, for sure, but, we're getting in there. The dogs are actually able to finish those guys, which is great, so we need to keep this guy alive. That's going to be super important here. Have you guys shoot there. Crabs are holding firm. If he wants to attack us, that's fine. So let's actually move Noctilus this way. Because he can shoot while he moves. We still have a couple doggos left. If they could actually get those archers, that'd be super solid. The crabs are going to be like a lifeline here too. If we can keep this Colossus alive, I'm pretty sure we have the game. Otherwise, it's going to be really close. Let's give Noctilus more ammo, which is going to help. Crabs are just doing their thing. We got the dogs on top of them right before they crumble. Come on, hold on, big boy. We have invocation in a couple seconds. If we can keep him from crumbling, that's going to be so good and tasty. Racer on top of those guys, if we can. Noctilus and company need to run a little bit. And the crabs are holding. They're beating down the dryads. And is this guy going to stabilize? So let's actually pull in melee here. Get all these guys in melee as well. Just like start beating them down. Oh, we might need to pull the crabs back. He's running a little bit low on ammo, for sure. Okay, so those guys have been polished off, so now we just need to kind of chase those guys and shoot them. And the crabs, at this point, we pull back because we need to get some juicy invocations. We've been very conservative with our summons, so... And let's go ahead and start turning and shooting at the archers that are still somewhat healthy. The crabs need to come back. We need to form a bit of a second battle line. The gunnery white as well. Damn, we did lose that guy, so that's going to give Falcon a way in. There's not much we can do about that, though, to be honest. So let's pull these guys back. Just start shooting into the blob. So we're going to get a summon here, which is going to be good. Get you guys going, and yeah, we just got to keep... Hopefully he runs out of ammo soon. We probably got to like start trying to like juke and strafe and stuff like that. You can kind of keep sniping here. Let's give extra powder to Noctilus again to top him off, just in case. Yeah, that's a lot of fire coming in, but if we kind of juke and dive here, we might be okay. So let's get the gunnery white in there to try and kill that branch wraith. I think that's going to be better than trying to shoot here. Noctilus does have invocations. We should probably drop a heal on himself. Yeah, Falcon's coming in for like a big alpha strike type attack here. So I don't know if he has any Azrai spears or anything. So Noctilus has dropped his load, which is fine. So we're going to send the crabs back there to see if we can get some freebies on the archers. And let's actually go see if we can kill the Wood Elf leadership. We have 2 summons left, which is good. So let's get those guys to get in there. We're going to chase the crabbies down. Alright, so we're going to get in here. We're going to kill the branch wraith, which I think is going to be good. Kind of keep forcing around with the crabs. Mr. Krabs! He's not blobbing up too much. Archers are just about out of ammo, which is fine. If we can get an invocation to heal up Nock, that's going to be really good. They're a little bit light on magic, though, which is tough. Such a close game. Very well played here. Alright, so, let's drop the dryads. I don't think he can heal himself when he's when his leadership's broken. So we do get the heal off right before then, which is good. See if we can snipe this guy. The crabs are just a bit of a distraction right now. So Arcane Conduit. Let's attack here. Come on. Come on. This has been a really good game. Falcon's very good at Wood Elves. But Vampire Coast is probably my best faction, so it's going to be hard to beat him with something else, but we'll try. Alright. Get in there. GG, man. Great game. We killed the Lord really early, but the Wood Elf Glade Riders, we didn't get enough done with the Hounds. We needed to kill more to really get that going. That was a really good game, though. That was a really, really good game. Damn. After this, I'll do one more with Skaven, and then we'll probably call it from there. I mean, he is terror riding a little bit. Noctilus is too low. He's crumbling. But the Gunnery White double Colossus build works. I think the biggest thing we lacked in this build was the crabs weren't a good idea. I think we should have gone with Depth Guard. Depth Guard would have been able to kill a lot of the infantry. Like, we couldn't kill that. That was a great game. GG. He says, oh, GG. Damn, that was a good one. Yeah. But yeah, I think Depth Guard were necessary, but the archers were very good against Depth Guard too, but they were shooting the Colossus, so I think they would have been more free to like get work done, but we didn't have enough to kill the infantry. We killed the leadership, we killed the mobile stuff. Great game. I'll cast that one separately. That was really fucking good. That was a great game. I'm sure people are getting sick of watching like Skaven and all that stuff like over and over. But yeah, I'll do Skaven now and see what he wants to pick. He might play dinosaurs. He's really good with dinos. GG. The dragon certainly was not the life. The dragon was certainly not the life. The dragon got pounded. If anything, it was the archers who won you. All right, so let's see. I'll go Skaven. You guys want to see Skaven? Skaven for me. That was a great game. Falcon played so good. He was at a huge disadvantage, but he came back and scrapped like an absolute champion, and was able to win the game. That was beautiful. All right, so you guys ready to see me lose to him again? It's time. Let's do the Sword of Torvald. That's fine. Okay. You guys aren't sick of Skaven yet? Okay. I'll give you one more Skaven game. All right, so let's see here. Yes. Good. I'm sure Falcon's going to know how to deal with Skaven. Skaven, I'm still like, I don't know what to do against Dark Elves, really, but we're going to try and figure it out here. Full Rattling gun line? No. Yeah, this is good. Okay, that's fine. I feel like the Skaven are like the true Limp Bizkit faction. Rolling. All right. That should be fine. Let's do that. A little bit of this to help the back. Get some of that. All right. Let's see. I mean, do I have enough? The thing is, do I have enough to protect everything that I want to protect? We don't need that. That's overkill. That is overkill. Let's got you. The answer is always more slaves, yes. No, that's not quite right. There's something not quite right about this build. Something is missing. Yeah. It's good. Let's do it, boys. Let's do it. Come on. The most haggard faction? Probably Skaven. Come on. If you're talking about the actual usage of the word. No orcs. I don't know. I might do an Ikit head-to-head with Italian Spartacus. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. You guys are going to like this build. I tried to bring a little bit of everything to make it interesting, but it's also I also think it's a good build. So, thank you, Steven, as always. Okay, after this, I actually have to go, though, because I haven't eaten all day. I got a tournament I got to be at in an hour for Warhammer Tabletop. Hey, look, we even have the Horned Rat in chat. Wow. Oh, damn. Sorry about that. That really came out of nowhere. Oh, my God. Yeah. It's go time. So, did we get rid of Steven? We did. Okay, good. I always forget. It's like a... So the front line is going to be a bunch of pitiful slaves, as usual. That's how you should play Skaven. Yes. Yes, my favorite units. You're gonna have some of those guys. Oh yeah. It's like it's really important because Falcon's just gonna try and tear apart my back line. He's gonna try and get in there balls deep with like a bunch of Dark Riders and stuff. So I'm gonna have to like be pretty good about protecting it. Get the Clan Rats up here as well to take that beating for the Horned Rat. Probably just a sandwich. It's not going to be anything terribly exciting. So. Keep rolling, rolling, rolling. This is what I like to call the Limp Bizkit build. We keep it rolling. This map is a little bit weird for my guns, I have to admit. I think I like more like that. It's going to be good. Yeah, that's a nice little... Let's get you over here if we could. The Rattling Gunner's going to be like dead center. All right. Ready. I'm sorry. I had a banana. That was pretty much it. All right, here we go. Focus time. Focus. This old man's still got some bite. All right. All these youngins in here thinking they can just run me over. I still got it. Dad dinner burp. Yeah, that was a dad dinner burp. I'm sorry. That was disgusting. Don't forget, you're still the best content creator, mate. Thank you, man. It means a lot. I'm putting pressure on him. He's just saying that before he beats me, so I don't feel so bad. All right, here we go. This build's pretty good, though. I think it's going to be pretty nasty. Go, my flares! Charge! Of course, he has a sorceress. The Dark Riders are somewhere. Like, I just have to be very aware of the Dark Rider play. I love using the flares. Like, flares versus Golden Chariots is actually pretty funny. So yeah, we're going to try and snipe out the caster, of course. You can put him in guard mode. Yeah, start shooting that shit. If you think I'm not bringing Jezzails, you're crazy, my friend. Okay, so the backline pressure is here, as expected. Let's go ahead and start shooting into these guys. Alright, so the pressure is coming from all angles, which is fine. Drop some summons here. Get these guys going in there, attacking those guys. So these these guys are a little bit abandoned right now, so let's get some love over there. Keep sniping the sorceress if we can. And Ikit's doing good, so let's get the brass orb dropping. Brass orb can just drop. Great. So the fighting's underway. It's a little bit chaotic, I must admit, but the one of our Jezzails is still online, so we'll keep shooting here if we can. Let's get you guys kind of sweeping back here to help out a little bit, and the Plague Monks in the front. We can drop the summon there. Get you guys kind of swarming in there. The sorceress is actually in some serious trouble, so we're going to drop the Gale on that. Gale the Snail getting dropped. Let's get the Rattling Gunner shooting as well. Radiggers can pull back. Players and company can pull in, and let's pull you guys back as well. So we almost got his lord down, which is going to be really nice if we can actually kill it. Front line is looking a little bit dicey though, to say the least. So we'll drop some summons over here to try and help that situation out. Jezzails can start turning and shooting again. Oh man, the swarm is doing work. Okay, so we need to pull you guys back in. Let's get the Radiggers chasing those Dark Riders. And it looks like the Supreme Sorceress is actually getting really low. The Flayers are fighting mostly Doomfire Warlocks, which I suppose isn't great. Let's get the Clan Rats going in there as well. Plague Monks are grinding it out. I think I'm just getting whooped on this time. I don't think my build worked too well. I wanted to go with the Death Star, which probably would have been better. I think he was expecting this. Okay, so let's get you guys going over there. You guys can come back here. Yeah, the Jezzails are in a little bit of trouble here, Bob. We're going to pull Ikit over and try and save him if we can. Thicket Claw. And the Plague Caster just got whooped on. And how are the Rattling Gunners doing? That was a good game. Yeah, the back line was... I had too much stuff to protect. He did a really good job. His backline pressure was great. So Radiggers can go there. You go here. The Rats can swarm back in. We did okay. It wasn't like a terrible game, but I think we needed to be... we needed more stuff. He had way too much backline pressure. GG. Save that one too. Well played. All right, guys. So I actually have to go to a tournament now. It's been 3 hours. Yeah, I think against him, like, you kind of have to expect the rush. And, okay, let's see. GG. I got to run. Great games, brother. I'll get you next time. GG. Yeah, he's really, really good. So yeah, we'll show you a build. Like if you were playing against that, you'd probably want to go with Skrulk. Skrulk's really, really good against that style of play. You could even go with like a Skaven Death Star, as a matter of fact. Like just using like Rat Ogres. So you use Rat Ogres, you get Hell Pits. You probably get a Hell Pit Abomination. I don't know if you need 2 there. You still do have to respect the back line. Like, because otherwise it's just going to be like an absolute disaster. So you go with something like this, you get some Storm Vermin to the front, you can even get some of the new units. I think that would be good. Anyways, yeah, I'm actually running late. I got to like pack everything and go. So guys, thank you so much for joining. Sorry about some of the issues. Big thanks to the 2 clans who competed. And also a sincere thanks to Suf, Philip, Riverbank, Raw Cauliflower, Mikolai, Token Dead Guy, Major Kong, Villain, and King Agizal, and Roscoe. Really do appreciate all your very generous donations. And good win-loss, yes. And also from Mr. Kobus on PayPal for donating. Let's go ahead and check. 5 PLN, so thank you, man. Dziękuję. Yeah, drop a like. Hey, GG Falcon. Can't wait till next time, brother. Falcon says that was his first win against his Vampire Coast. You know, you've got it, man. The double Colossus was a bold strategy. It almost worked, but you came out with persistence, and your archers did a great job and had a great fight. And yeah, so now I got to go play in a Warhammer tabletop tournament. Thank you to all the clans. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Death to the False Emperor. I agree. And we'll see you guys next time. Take care.